Nany wakes up, brushes off the slate, fumbling for her bagel, this routine to keep. Cigarette smolders by her coffee pot. Mornings ain't easy, but it's all she's got. She's got a wild chat, hosted by Maggie. Crazy comments flying and lines go zigzaggy. Nany takes a breath, bites her breakfast round. Gonna need her fuel when the crazies come round. Oh, Nany's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Bagel in her hand, coffee by her side. She's ready for the madness, with Maggie as her guide. The chat explodes with every single ding. Nany's got her caffeine, she can handle anything. Maggie reads the messages, keeping things in line. Nany laughs it off, says, "Folks, you're doing fine." Oh, Nany's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Bagel in her hand, coffee by her side. She's ready for the madness, with Maggie as a guide. Town, every morning's a game. Nany plays a host while Maggie calls her names. From the backwards of her room to the front lines of the screen, life is but a show in this crazy online scene. Oh, Nany's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Bagel in her hand, coffee by her side. She's ready for the madness, with Maggie as her guide. Maggie as a guide. In this virtual town, every morning's a game. Nany plays a host while Maggie calls their names. From the backwoods of a room to the front lines of the screen, life is but a show in this crazy online scene. Oh, Nany's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Maggie as her guide.
It started with a chat, just a few of us there, talking about life and the stuff we all share. From kids to chaos and the mess we make, we bonded over laughs and every mistake. From bad hair days to a joke or two, no topic was off limits, nothing taboo. We laughed till we cried, had each other's backs. A sisterhood formed in the middle of tracks. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From late night texts to early morning calls, we've been through it all, big and small. From talking fashion to the crazy stuff, we've got each other's backs when life gets tough. We send memes and pics of the day gone wrong and the occasional "can you believe this song?" We share everything, no secrets to keep, like a wild dream that we never want to sleep. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From Tennessee, where the music plays, to sweet tea nights and lazy days. From England's hills to the country roads, our sisterhood's a bond that forever grows. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. Through the highs and the lows, we've been there. When the world feels heavy, we just don't care. We're loud, we're bold, we're a little bit wild, but always there for each other, with hearts so mild. sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. So here's to the sisters who make life so sweet. We've got each other, no defeat. From the chat to the heart, it's all the same. We're a sisterhood forever in the friendship game. According to Nany, the eclipse is to blame. But truly the Lord brought us together, and we'll never be the same. So here's to the sisters who make life so sweet. We've got each other, no defeat. From the chat to the heart, it's all the same. We're a sisterhood forever in the friendship game. According to Nany, the eclipse is to blame. But truly the Lord brought us together, and we'll never be the same. From the highs and the lows, we've been there.
Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good night, good day, wherever you're at in the world. Thank you guys so much for being here. So I appreciate everything. I just appreciate y'all being here and just coming in to hang out and do whatever it is that we do here. We never know where it's going to go. We try to stay on task when we're doing stuff as serious as this, but truth be told, we're not that serious of a channel. We definitely don't take each other seriously. But there are times, there's a time and a place for everything, and there are different seasons, and this is just one of those things, you guys, that we're gonna see to the end. And hopefully the end's coming very, very soon. Thank y'all for being here so much. We're let me turn all this off real quick, get in the chat. If any of you guys were here in my chat yesterday morning, we were just hanging out, having a good time, doing nothing, talking about nothing really, and then, everything broke down. It just went crazy, and we started a new live, and we jumped on it. And shout out to JLR, who is out there, boots on the ground, y'all, boots on the ground. Doing his thing, but also letting anybody use his content just to keep Nancy's name out there. And hopefully we're going to bring Nancy home soon. So I just thought, well, everybody's probably, because I had to cut out, I think we did a 5-hour, and then I cut out, I had to get some sleep. And I still feel like my brain is mush, but I thought about, well, do I even go live? Because I know you guys have caught other stuff. Anything I show you, you guys have probably already seen, but maybe we could see it in a different way together, or have different thoughts together. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do, if it's going to help, if it's going to not help. Maybe somebody worked today and just didn't have time to find out what was going on. I don't know. But here I am, and I've got a whole line full of tabs up there that are opened up. I don't know if we're going to get to everything, but I did open up what I think will best explain what all happened yesterday, and get us caught up to where we are now in this, as far as I know. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you do me a favor and just hit the thumbs up. That's all I ever ask of this channel, is just hit thumbs up. And if you feel like it, come on down and jump in the chat. Tell us what you think. Listen, none of us are wrong. None of us are right until we get to court and figure it out. But putting our heads together and bouncing ideas and theories and thoughts off of each other, who knows? We're not going to solve anything, but maybe we'll come to a better understanding of this kind of a crime. And God forbid it should happen to any one of us, but maybe we might be a little bit more prepared. Miss June was in chat. She woke up, you guys, and jumped on and left us a note here. It says, just woke up. I wanted to let you know that it's all over the New York Post. The FBI agents at her house were doing search and found a few things. It was not looking good. They closed up drums from the backyard and closed up the windows to the back of the house. Crazy, just giving you a heads up. Thank you, Miss June. And I'm hoping she's feeling better. She also took a fall yesterday morning. Shout out to her, Maggie. For those of you that don't know, Maggie took a fall 2 days ago now, her time. And she is dealing with 1 or 2 broken ribs. Her shoulder is out of place. She's in a lot of pain, but she sent me a picture, y'all. She's smiling. She still looks like Hollywood, y'all. She's good at covering up. You can tell she's been through some tough shit in her life. She's a tough cookie, but she needs our prayers as well. Hi, Don. Good to see you. They now think the main culprit is and mastermind is. I've been saying that tomato, Tommaso, Tabasco hot sauce dude is the mastermind. Listen, I'm glad everybody else is finally getting what I'm getting. Boy, that sounds really stuck up, but I'm not meaning it to be. But yeah, I always thought that. I said I'm going to sit on that fence until the sheriffs pull me off because I just believe he is the mastermind. Shad, good to see you, love bud. Thank you so much for being here. Dawn is saying that came out of News Nation. I watched News Nation because for the most part, I think they try to get it right. I really do think they try to get it right. Shag says I must have missed it, but that's my theory as well. Show the feds believe he's the main culprit because it's not the sheriff. He's covering for somebody. Listen, that's not out of the realm of possibility either. What's up with the sheriff? We're going to talk about it later. Good to see everybody. Tashi's in the house from Australia, y'all. Hey, girlfriend. Let me just get down really quick. Best crazy life over in the UK. The English invasion has happened right here. According to Nany, they'll all be getting up and coming in, y'all. Hey, Beth, good to see you. I'm falling asleep if I've only had 5 hours, but I'll try to be present here. That's okay, girlfriend. You get you some rest. You could just hit the replay. Hi, Audrey. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you so much. Leah is here saying hello, hello, hello. I don't see Misty. Now, in case you guys put something in chat and it may look like I'm ignoring you, I'm not. All the creators, from what I hear from people, are having a lot of trouble with their chat, with comments coming through. Mary Jane Doe, who's also in the building up there, she said that one of the creators, they were only getting emojis, nothing that nobody was typing. So I don't know what's going on. But if it looks like I'm ignoring you, I absolutely am not. Yesterday, one of the mods here had to put it in chat 5 times. She had to retype it 5 times before it ever showed up for me to see it. So I'm not ignoring you at all. There's nothing more I love to do than just be in a chat and just have conversations with you guys. Let's see. Kui to Lulu, hello. Good morning to Australia out there. Oh, they're going into the evening. Wait, Australia's going into the evening, you guys. So good evening. I didn't even see Miss Barbara. Is she here? Miss Barbara, I do not see you. Miss Barbara is our matriarch of our channel. Been here since day one, and she loves us. She just loves us. And she'll beat the hell out of us from afar, you guys, in a heartbeat. But she loves us. Miss Barbara's also from the Tucson area. She's living about 20 minutes from the crime scene right now. So this is right in her neck of the woods, you guys. Right in her neck of the woods. And it'd be interesting to hear from Miss Barbara as a senior, because I'm sure Miss Barbara's heard us all say, why would you leave your mom alone? Miss Barbara stays alone, and she freaking likes it. So it might be worth listening to someone who is older. She's not as old as Nancy is, but she is older, and y'all, she's killing it over there. That would be, I think that'd be interesting to hear her take on what if her kid said, "Mom, gotta come home, gotta take care of you. You're too old to live by yourself." That'd be interesting. Gotta get you up here, Miss Barbara. Get ready. Wild Angel, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Yes, I was in chat today. It was live happening in Nancy's house. Shout out to Ikid Mel, but the whole chat was in Spanish. That's what I heard. JLR's was in Spanish for a while as well. Shout out to Ikid Mel. I'm not his favorite person. Well, he doesn't really know me, but yeah, that was a long time ago. I just want to mention it. Lego Mike is in the house. Good to see you. Karaoke today at Nancy's for a bit. Too far? He wants to know. I heard about that. The ladies were talking about it in Discord. And from what I gleaned, after I had gone to bed, there were people out there singing in front of Nancy's house. I didn't get to see that. I have not replayed. In fact, hardly ever do I replay JLR because he does long lives. Y'all, I'm not going to make time for that. I'm just not. I've got other stuff that I'm interested in watching as well, even though this case has me wrapped like a freaking Christmas present that you're waiting to get into. And it's like the 30th of July, and you have to wait all the way to December to get it. It's terrible, you guys. I'm barely getting anything done. Melly Joe's in the house from Australia. She said I had to play with my friends Golden. Oh, Mel. I bet that was fun. I hope they're doing well with them. I agree. Mike had to turn it off. I was so surprised somebody was singing out there with a loudspeaker. What was that about? Was it just to honor them? Was it, I mean, what were they doing? Was it them honoring her? Or did it look like they were just doing it for publicity? What did it look like? Hi, Yvonne. Good to see you, honey. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming in. Dot underscores in the house. Hey, girlfriend. Good to see you. Purple is in here. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, Miss Barbara Smith lives right over there. She's my surrogate mama. I used to call her my YouTube mama, but she's not just my mama on this channel. She's been a very dear, dear person to me. She reminds me of my real mom. I saw on Brian Internet, they told the press they can't park on the street anymore. So they're not really sure what that means for reporting. Well, some of the girls did say that Brian Inton was offered from one of the neighbors to park, and I've got it pulled up. He was offered from one of the neighbors to park in his driveway, which I thought was very, very nice. I'm going to let Brian talk about that. And then I heard through the ladies in Discord, they said that JLR was also extended an invitation to park in somebody's driveway as well, but they didn't think he saw it in his chat. So surely somebody's walked up to him. I pray. I really do pray. I mean, he's worked his ass off for this, you guys. He deserves every good thing that comes to him. RRT's in the house. He says, per sheriff, no media, no residents in entire subdivision, or a $25 fine. Well, I wonder if you let them on your private property, there's not a damn thing the sheriff can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You could sit on Google Earth and watch your house all damn day long, and they can't charge us $250 for that. So I think if they're sitting in a neighbor's yard, it's not anything they can do. Neighbors have already told a couple people they can park in their driveway. Tashi's on BRB. I did see somebody. Oh, there's a whole map of the area that people can't park. I've got it on the chat here. I saw Melly Joe. Thanks, Mel, for dropping that into Discord, and I'll put it up so everybody can see. The sheriff is hiding something. He knows something about this case. I can feel it in my bones. He has demolished it since day one, just like he wanted to send the DNA to the little Florida lab. Wild Angel says, when I woke up yesterday, found out that a dear friend of mine had passed away last Thursday, and I was upset to hear that. I didn't know that he was at the hospital so close to me. Heartbreaking. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for your loss, Wild Angel. That's terrible. That should piss off the sheriff, shouldn't it? Because there's not a damn thing you can do on private property. There's not. In fact, I'm surprised that they're allowed to do that on a public street. I mean, what's happening with that? Leo CD says, hi guys, enjoyed the tone and the spirit here last night. So I subbed. Lee, that's so kind. Thank you so much. Well, welcome back, honey. Get in here and chit chat with us. Love nothing better than people chit chatting with me. Our little drought finally just broke, so had to run and grab the sulky plant. John H is in the house, you guys, from the UK. Told you the British invasion is fixing to happen. Listen, I know stuff, y'all. Barbara Smith says, I think it's so funny that some of the neighbors offered their driveway. It's going to piss off some of the others so bad. That's right. That's right. I dig it. If somebody offered me their driveway, I'd be like, can we get lemonade? Diet Coke? Y'all got some coffee in there. I mean, I think it's brilliant. Listen, if it was happening on my street, I'd be like, JLR, come here. I got you, Big Daddy. Here you go. Oh, I would love it. I would love to host something like that. I don't want anything bad to happen on my street, but if it did, like I'm calling JLR, I'm going to host them. I'm going to be like, come on. And I'm going to invite all my friends over and we'll all just kind of sit around with them. Wait to the camera every now and then. All right, guys, we're going to get right into this. Thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. That's all I ever ask of this channel. I appreciate it. Let the algorithm know that you interacted with us. If you think that I'm ignoring you, once again, I am not. Not all chat is going through. We know that. It's been proven many times. And from what I hear, a lot, at least a lot, we don't know all, but a lot, channels are complaining about it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start because I've got a lot pulled up. I don't know if we'll get to it all. I don't know if we care about it all. I care about it. That's why I brought it up. But if you guys just get tired of me showing stuff, then we could stop and we can just chit chat. And if you have seen any of this, y'all, please forgive me. I slept for about 4 hours. And so I haven't even watched all this. I just pulled up stuff that I had seen. Let's look at this first. All right, let's see. How do I want to do this? Not that yet. All right, let's go over here and just get a quick update. How about that? This is the last video that Brian Enton put up this evening. So let's watch that real quick. Shout out to Brian Enton, you guys. If you don't mind dropping our copyright in the chat. Well, not the copyright, you know what I mean, the disclaimer. Okay, that's that. That's good. Make sure that's showing. All right, that's good. I should probably float it too. Let me float it across the stream so I don't get busted. All right, there. Don't come after us, YouTube. We're just here, just doing our thing. Fair use disclaimer, Copyright Act of 1976 gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news report, teaching, scholarship, and research. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're using it for. We're not trying to rain on anybody's parade, and we damn sure aren't monetizing it. So we're not making any money off of these creators who have so graciously allowed us to use their content as well. All right, let's take a listen to them, you guys. Watch your ears. I can't control your volume.
Is Wednesday night, day 25. The latest that I'm learning, remember all the activity outside the house today. We know now that there were some prosecutors. There were people in suits along with the law enforcement outside the house. I'm now learning those are prosecutors, which is interesting. Not totally unusual. Sometimes prosecutors want to tour a crime scene before it gets released back to the family. What's interesting, though, is NBC News is reporting, and I'm always kind of interested in the NBC News reporting because that's where Savannah works, and obviously they're quoting sources, NBC, that law enforcement is about to turn the house back over to the Guthrie family. which would make sense maybe why they were doing one final sweep today. FBI, prosecutors. I know that there was a Pima County homicide detective that was out here. So that may make sense. In terms of why that one SUV went into the garage and the door closed and we didn't see who was in it, I still haven't been able to piece that one together. So that's the latest from out here. We're just kind of packing up. You know, I was telling you guys the situation where we're not going to be allowed to park here anymore starting tomorrow. Seems kind of like a way that they're trying to just get the media out of here. And again, it's weird because a lot of the neighbors really like us because they want to keep the story alive. They knew Nancy, and then others honestly have said they just feel safer just like with the presence out here right now because of like everything that happened. But anyway, nonetheless, they say they're going to fine you know, anybody who's parked out here, I think $250. So we got to figure out our plan for tomorrow. I'm going to try to still find a way to be outside the house. But I'll keep you guys posted. All right, good night.
All right, guys, that is the very latest that I saw about 2 hours before I went live, and I went ahead and brought that up. There's a couple things I want to touch on that. I do have a crush on Brian. I love his eyes, y'all. I love his eyes. I think he's a little dude, and I'm not into little dudes, but I mean, he's got beautiful eyes, and I think that he reports with integrity, and that to me is a big deal. Copyright disclaimer: fair use is permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor. All right, in our favor of this. So I want to break this down, what he talked about a little bit. I found it interesting. What he didn't talk about, and I'm going to show you, is that not only did one FBI car go into the garage today and the door shut down behind them, there was a white van that we pulled up on our live, and we were watching it, and I kept rewinding because I was like, look, the van's going in there now. And then we also know that after the FBI and the prosecutors and everybody left the area, about an hour and a half later, we think that now I haven't heard anything since. I'm reporting on when I closed my live out and I went to bed. That's where I'm at in the investigation right now, other than what we just saw from Brian. Hello, all this, all that. Hello, Damage. Good to see you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I didn't hear him talk about that, but I'm going to show you guys how many people were in that damn garage today that I know of. The other thing that I found funny about this was he actually said that his sources tell him that some of the prosecution was out there. We just asked, 2 nights ago, where's the prosecution? They'd be out there, right? They'd be out there. And then also it was brought up, what else did he talk about on there? There was something else he said that I wanted to touch on really quick. Damn it. It'll come to me later, I'm sure. If not, just wasn't worth talking about, I reckon. So that's the latest on Brian, and that's what I've got from him. I'm going to back this up. I want to show you guys, for those of you that didn't get to see some of the footage that happened today. I would feel the same if I were a neighbor there. Lee says it would be scary. I'd be scared too. I'd be like, yeah, y'all stay out here. I need to go take a nap, y'all. So y'all stay out here, hold the fort down. I'll be back. I mean, it's so dark out there. I feel safer as well. Pima posted who was there a little while ago. Brianna answered about the car, still part of the investigation. Very telling. Right. Well, we know that they still have Nancy Guthrie's car. They still have Annie Guthrie, Tomato Tabasco hot sauce dude, their car they've still got. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything. Let me know in chat if you've heard anything. But they've still got the Range Rover impounded. What are they saying? What are they saying to us? Apparently, they transferred the case to the office in Phoenix. I wondered if the feds who showed up this morning were from that office. Well, I know that they did they were talking about it today, that on one of, I think the Channel 4 News in Tucson said that the day prior they had moved the command post into Phoenix. So I didn't know if that meant that Phoenix was taken over. What happened? I would be remiss right now, you guys, if I didn't give a shout out to our very own JB, who's a mod of this chat and a very good friend to us. And she is a former FBI agent of 20 years. She retired with the FBI. And her knowledge of what she was in chat yesterday when all that went down, thank God. The wealth of knowledge that woman has, it is amazing. And it's so nice to be able to just ask her, hey, why are they in that house for so long? What do you think's happening? What is that noise? What is this? What is that? And she'll tell you if she's speculating or if she just knows for sure this is what's happening. So shout out to JB for being our own source here at this channel. I need to take some medicine. You guys can hear me wheezing, and I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to play this other one. I want to watch it together, and then I want to critique it if you don't mind. Yeah, let me play this, and yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. Let's play this, and then we could talk about part of what Brian was talking about. This also is going to show you guys this will also show you the cars as they're leaving the thing today and give a little breakdown on it. This is News 4 out of Tucson. It's KVOA TV. You guys, that's my source for this. And this was put out 13 hours ago. So it's old. You may have seen it. You may have heard about it, but I think it's worth watching and listening to again. And instead of watching the guy in front of you or the people that are right in front of you, watch how the cars are coming out. And there's actually, you can totally see the maneuver they're making. It is they're purposely putting everybody in a line the way that they need to leave the property. And they also had them in the line that they wanted them to come into the property, because I will tell you, I believe wholeheartedly that some of the family, all of the family, and here's going to blow your mind. What if whoever tipped off the family was in that car instead of the family that they parked? So they came barreling in, right? First, we had a white truck kind of, and it looked like forensics or whatever, right? And they backed up and they parked right next to the guest house. Then a few minutes later, boom, 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 coming the opposite direction really fast. 3 unmarked black SUVs, tinted windows. The first one pulls in like towards the front of her house, swinging around the front of her house. The second one that pulled in went straight to the back, to the garage, went in the garage door shut down, and the third one came in and parked behind the first one in the front of the house. We weren't noticing all that when it was happening because JLR was way down the street. So we couldn't see like what was, we didn't see how they had parked until they were leaving. Then we could see it happening. But tonight when I was pulling all this up together, and I told everybody before I went to bed yesterday, after covering this, I said, guys, I feel like the family, that's got to be the family. There's something, and it wouldn't be forensic in that car. Those are FBI vehicles, right? Hear what I'm saying? So I think they went in there. I think they did grab some things. I don't think that the buzzing sound that we heard anymore, I don't think anymore that was a drill. I think it was a handsaw. And JB, who is the FBI expert here, she says that it could be that they were sawing off maybe a padlock that the sheriff's put on the back door, because remember, they're only using the 2 garage doors to enter and exit the house. They're not using the front door. They're not using the very back door. They're using the 2 garage doors, the blue door that's right in the back of the garage, and then the door that opens and shuts. So when I was pulling all this up today, because I really wanted to show this and let you guys see how sneaky they are, how quick they are about pulling them cars in and out, because the minute the black car comes out of the garage and swings around, you know, does the Y turn backwards to come out, immediately the white, what I believe to be forensics, pulls right into the garage and the door goes down. And so because we watched it twice. The first time I'm just watching the guy who's talking. The second time I was like, wait a second, what are they doing? And then I saw it and I tried to point it out, and it made a lot of sense to me. So I think that it was a saw. JB says maybe to take off a padlock. I was quickly thinking about the Idaho 4 case where they actually went in and they cut out a piece of the wall and a piece of the floor to take into evidence. And so I think whatever was going on, it was something like that, maybe all of the above. It was set into the garage when the white van pulled in really quick into the garage, because that white van didn't leave until after the 3 dark SUVs left. They didn't leave until about they were there for almost an hour, I think. And then they finally left the scene. I think they pulled in to collect the evidence, because that would be a forensic van. So that's my theory. You guys let me know what you think in chat. Let me play this through, and I'm going to take some medicine, so I'm going to have to mute myself. Not that anybody cares. All right, hold on.
Investigation. Let's get out to News 4 Tucson's Andrew Capasso has an update for us right now. Andrew.
Yeah, Robbie, good afternoon to you. I want you to take a look right behind me. These SUVs here, they've been here since about 9 o'clock. And in just the past 5-6 seconds, we've seen the agents that were inside this house since about 10 o'clock get into these SUVs. And it looks like they're about to leave here. You see there's a ton of media. There has been a ton of media here. But instead of going to the VL, let's just hold on this live shot. I'm going to explain to you what we've seen here through the day. They've been focused on that doorway in front of the house, also the side of the house and the backyard. And we've seen the investigators go between this main house and then the guest house, the pool house, that house in the back. So all this started just after 9 o'clock this morning, when we believe are Pima County investigators here. And then about 45 minutes later, these 3 black SUVs started to come in. And you see now that they're leaving finally. But there were 6 people which made their way around the backyard and inside. And while they were here, we saw them taking pictures near the front door and in the yard. One person inside by the front door taking pictures. So we don't know if this was a planned part of the investigation. They were planning to be out here today to do this stuff, or if this was from a new tip. We know there has been a definite increase in calls since the Guthrie family increased that reward. Here locally, 88 Crime has taken more than 2,200 calls since Tuesday's announcement. We're also hearing from a lot of investigative firms. And as we keep looking live out here, that's all of them. That's all of the Pima County deputies that were here, the SUVs, which we believe were FBI agents. I don't know if you saw them. Some of them were all dressed up. Some of them were not. But definitely, this is the most activity we have seen here at this house in days. We saw some investigators here on Sunday. It's been pretty quiet since. I'm going to get out of the way because there's cars just trying to get through here. But it's been like this, what you're seeing here, pretty much since. We've had the deputy here in the driveway at the request of the Guthrie family. That's been the same. But what we did not see is a lot of stepped up activity here. Again, we don't know if this was planned. We don't know if it was because of that tip, but we know there have been a big increase in the number of tips, both to 88 Crime and to the FBI, since the Guthrie family put out that additional $1 million reward yesterday. So we're going to stay out here, continue to follow this, try to learn a little bit more about what's been happening here since 9 o'clock. But again, a lot of investigative activity in the front yard, the side yard, and inside that house. And again, that doorway was a big focus, I would say, between 10 and 11 this morning. So we're going to stay out here. We're going to get some more details, and we'll have it for you through the day. But for now, that is the latest. Reporting live outside the Guthrie house in the Foothouse. I'm Andrew Capasso, News 4 Tucson. For now, Robbie, let's send it back to you.
Okay, guys, we're going to go back over this, and I want to show you, if you can zoom into your screen. So the first time, like I said, I was watching this, I was just watching this dude, maybe some of the guys in the background. Then when the cars were coming out. I was kind of looking at the sheriff and watching him tell them to get out of the way and stuff like that. And then we watched it a second time, and I was like, holy, then I watched the cars, like the background of what's going on. So if you can scroll in or zoom in, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to play this whole thing. We're only going to watch when the cars start to move, and just show you how, I mean, these people are good, y'all. They're good. They're so good. Because obviously not even he realizes there's still a car there. So let's just only play that part. All right, I think you guys can see my cursor. I hope you can see my cursor. Thank you guys so much for being here. Do me a favor. All I ask anybody to do is just to hit the like. Thank you so much. Thank you. I did see some people come in. Captain's here and gone by, and anybody else, if I haven't welcomed you, welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right, if you guys can zoom in, let's talk about this a minute. Man, these guys, all this shit happening right in front of our face and nobody's noticing. Story of my life. I blunder through life, as my mom used to tell me. All right, let me make sure it's, hold on. Playback speed normal. Okay, good. Here we go. Now I'm going to stop and start.
Side of the house and the backyard, and they've also All
right. So let me get this feed out of the way. All right. So if you see back here behind the sheriff's car right here, truck right here, look back there in the back. You see the sun shining off of the window. This was the first vehicle that had come to the house yesterday morning. It pulled up, it backed itself into a Y, like a Y backing, and it's parked right next to the guest house, which is just beyond the truck over here. Back here, you can see it. So if you watch what this car is doing, this car back here, there's another black SUV inside the garage right here. That SUV is going to pull out in between these two cars right here. He's going to do a Y turn and then come this way.
The investigators go between this main house and then the guest house, the pool house, that house in the back. So all this started just after 9 o'clock this morning when we believe are Pima County investigators here. And then about 45 minutes later, these three black SUVs started to come in. And you see now that they're leaving finally.
Okay, right here. So these two were parked here. The other one that was in the garage is right there. I mean, this is done perfectly, precisely. I wasn't even looking back here at this, what was going on. I was watching this guy. I was like, why are you sitting there? And then it all just dawned on me what was happening. This is exactly how they came in. This guy right here came in first, parked there. The second car was in the middle. It went straight to the back, pulled into the garage. They shut down the door, and then this one pulled in right behind it. Now, mind you, that white truck that you saw back there, I believe that to be a forensic truck. And I believe that once they all left, when this white truck pulls into the garage, he's going in there to take out whatever it was that they went in there and got. We know there was at least 10, maybe 15 even people that showed up within these 4 vehicles here. All right, so here we go.
But there were 6 people who which made their way around the backyard and inside. And while they were here, we saw them taking pictures near the front door and in the yard. One person inside by the front door taking pictures. So we don't know if this was a planned part of the investigation. They were planning to be out here today to do this stuff, or if this...
Look at the white truck right behind this one. So this is the one that we believe that either family member is in, family members. Then I started thinking, what happens if this one actually has someone who tipped them off? Because they said they got all these tips. I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm just saying, what if? What if they brought him to the house and said, show us? Who knows? Whoever it is, whoever's in this car right here is being protected, whether it's family or a whistleblower. Now watch this white truck, what happens to it.
Was from a new tip. We know there has been a definite increase in calls since they got the increased that reward. here locally.
I'm gonna stop it right here. You could actually see, if you slow it down, you could see the vehicle go beyond this tree. It's going in, and you could watch, you could just see movement where you know that the garage door is coming down.
Crime has taken more than 2,200 calls since Tuesday's announcement. We're also hearing from a lot of investigative firms, and as we keep looking live out here, that's all of them. That's all of the Pima County deputies that were here, the SUVs, which we believe.
What says you guys? Bait and switch? One of the oldest tricks in the book, right? Hi, Diamond Lucidity. Just so everybody knows, I watched Duty Ron. He is amazing. Yep, he is. He zoomed in and have Minnesota plates. Wow, I did see that somebody was trying to zoom in. They couldn't. I don't remember if they said it was on the Nancy Guthrie Facebook page. They were showing pictures of it. I don't know where they got it from either. I think the FBI is much more capable. Gone by says absolutely. How far is Minnesota from Arizona? Pretty far. Minnesota's up north, closer actually to me than it is. It's actually closer to Wild Angel than it is. It's between me and Wild Angel, in between Indiana and Iowa, right? Am I right about that? I might be right. Arizona's way, way south. It's in the desert. So that was just something I noticed that, I mean, I guess, guys, if we just don't keep our eyes open, I think sometimes it is right in front of us. RC tells me all the time, look beyond, quit looking like right on the other side of your nose, look out, and it's all right out there. And my husband has actually talked to me about that before. He said, you got to look in the background for things. That's where it's all happening, in the background. They're right. Up near Canada, actually, Minnesota. Thank you so much. I think one of the people that were involved told the FBI something only a person that was inside her house would know. I believe they went there to check it and see if it was credible enough. Well, I mean, all we know is whoever's in that car, they were protecting them, and they didn't want the media seeing them. And they didn't want the media seeing what they were bringing out of that house, because that's why that van is in there right now. And about an hour and a half, like I said, after everybody went away, the white van eventually comes out of that garage and leaves too. There's another van, which is a civilian van. JLR was talking about maybe it was like an older van, maybe 10-year-old, like little caravan or something. It had a breast cancer awareness kind of sticker on the back of it, so you know it's a civilian. And then JB, our FBI expert, said that it's crime scene cleanup. They're fixing. She just put it out there, y'all. She said it's crime scene cleanup. The family would have hired them, and they're fixing to turn the house back over to Nancy Guthrie. So, I mean, y'all, she's smart. She knows shit. Me, it just comes like somewhere out of the blue. Something drops in my head, but automatically put her there. She just knows. So it's funny to see. Brian Inton. That's what he ended with tonight. That they were giving it back to Nancy Guthrie's family. Also, if the prosecution is there, and did you guys hear Brian Inton talking about that? Not only was the prosecution there and the FBI there, but he also said the coroner was there. Anybody catch that? Why would the coroner be there? Now, I'm not saying Nancy's in that house. I know a lot of people think Nancy's in the house. Listen, she was in the house, she'd be deceased, and everybody outside would know she's in that house, because we already figured out and looked it up how far a deceased body you can smell. Yeah, you guys didn't see. It's easy to miss stuff. That's why I try to play things twice on here. You guys didn't hear it? The coroner's was there today. He's got sources. Listen, if anybody's going to know, it's going to be Brian. that's on the beat right now. That's how he was able to be inside, not on the outside. He was on the inside of the perimeter that the SWAT team put up when they swatted that house, because he got there before the SWAT team because of his resources that he has. Unfortunately, people like you and me and JLR, we're relying on satellite and what people are seeing just and gut feeling. So, and on top of that, he's really kind of well known in this industry, and he's doing it right. He's checking in with NBC, and they're going to have it first. They're going to have all of the updated news before anybody else, because that's who Savannah works for. And two people would have, and two people would have been poop. And two people would have been the case to prosecute somebody in the future. They'll probably be able to say in court that they walked the scene right. Yeah, I was actually shocked. There's a good, let's play it again. I'm gonna play Brian in again because I want to make sure I didn't hear it wrong. And I think that's what I actually wanted to bring up when I was saying, there was something else I wanted to say. Here it is. Let me pull this one back up, you guys. Listen again, see what he says. Sorry, I've got so many tabs opened up. Okay, this one. All right, let's listen again. It's only a minute long, so I think in the beginning he talks about who all was at the house. Watch your ears, guys. Oh, come on, don't do that.
Nancy's. It is Wednesday night, day 25. The latest that I'm learning, remember all the activity outside the house today. We know now that there were some prosecutors, there were people in suits along with the law enforcement outside the house. I'm now learning those are prosecutors, which is interesting. Not totally unusual. Sometimes prosecutors want to tour a crime scene before it gets released back to the family. What's interesting, though, is NBC News is reporting, and I'm always kind of interested in the NBC News reporting because that's where Savannah works, and obviously they're quoting sources, NBC, that law enforcement is about to turn the house back over to the Guthrie family, which would make sense maybe why they were doing one final sweep today. FBI, prosecutors. I know that there was a Pima County homicide detective that was...
Homicide detective. Sorry, I quoted it wrong. But still, why is the homicide detective there? Anybody got that for me? I mean, it may make sense to you. I have to give my brain a minute to think about it. A homicide detective. Is he going in? I mean, JB's not here for me to ask now, but is he going into the scene to look and see if it looks like a homicide scene? Is he verifying it's a homicide scene? Because I really do believe that she was dead when she was brought out of the house. Yeah, but they're still calling it they're still calling it a kidnapping. They haven't called it a homicide yet. It's because they know Nancy was deceased, but they did not want to say it to the media. They want to find the people so they can get her body back. Yeah. Shag says, I think they got a tip that she was killed. Yeah, I think she was killed before she ever left the house. I do. This is not about money. This is not about, well, it's not about money in a ransom form. This is not about a kidnapping, but it is what it is. But I think, just listening to Savannah Guthrie's last video she did, it kind of sounds like she's coming to a different grip. Maybe she's coming to reality. They're still holding on to embers of hope. But they're very aware that their mother could be deceased and they just want her home. All right, let me get rid of this. All right, let's see what Brian had to say today out there. The reason why I'm not showing JLR right now, you guys, is because we did watch him the whole time. Not the whole time I was live, but for the most part, I had him in the background. And if I saw something interesting happening, I would turn him up. So we've, you guys have probably been watching JLR all day. So let me pull up today when Brian was talking earlier today about the officials moving the media out of the way when they got word about that. So here's the whole take from the media.
So an update from outside Nancy Guthrie's house. It's quieted down since earlier when law enforcement was here. I've confirmed at least one of them was a Kima County Sheriff's detective. FBI, I believe, was also here. But something new. So sheriff put out a new release basically saying that all the media is going to have to leave the cars. Like they're putting a no parking zone ordinance in for this entire neighborhood, basically, like a really big area where you're not allowed to park on the street, or I think it's a $250 fine. And they're going to, have the sheriff's deputies out here enforcing it, apparently starting tomorrow, which is kind of interesting because first they put these cones out all along the street, or these barricades, so that, like they said, that way the media can just stay on that side and we'll keep the traffic moving, which there really isn't a lot of traffic. It's just kind of a quiet street. But so it's pretty clear they want the media to leave. Most of the neighbors who I've met have been like happy that we're here. Honestly, it might sound kind of weird, but like this one lady I talked to the other day was saying, like, we love Nancy and we feel like if you leave, everybody's going to forget. So I know that there's probably some neighbors that have just been annoyed that there's so many cars in their neighborhood parked all day. So I don't know what we're going to do. Like they're just putting the no parking ordinance in effect, but they're not saying you can't actually be here without a car. So we may try to figure out how to do that, although it'll be hard without a car because that's where we get our power. Although we may get a generator. So all the media is kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do next. So that's kind of like the latest development, but I'll keep you guys posted.
What says you guys? So that was earlier today. If you guys heard something different, did they come out and say like no media? Because I don't know how they can tell people they can't not be on a public street. I can understand, I guess, putting in, you guys aren't parking, so walk it. What I'm going to need you to do, Miss Barbara, is reach out to JLR, have your family go borrow or rent a golf cart, put JLR's gigs and stuff and everything on it. Let's get JLR up and down that little foothill mountain thing that they're going through. That would be interesting because in a lot of communities here, and it has to be all over the states. It is you can't drive you can't drive golf carts on like a highway or anything like that, but they do have communities that their whole town you can drive a golf cart in, and it's absolutely fine. You can go through Walmart, you can go through the dollar store, you can go through the bank, you can go get you a McDonald's hamburger and some Diet Coke, y'all. Surely Arizona's got to have that in place too. I mean, yeah, wait a minute. Katie, Mrs. Kravitz, lives in Phoenix, and they bought their dad a golf cart. I need to get in touch with Katie, tell her to go take her dad's golf cart to JLR. Oh my God, I'd be a hero, you guys. Oh my God. Hold on. Now I'm rethinking. Katie, do anything I ask her to do. All right, I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna work that out for JLR. All right. The captain says, I don't think she was killed before she left the property. Otherwise, this would have been a murder scene from the start, and it would have also been picked up on her heart device. True. But it just said that it disconnected from, okay, wait, let me rethink this. They said that her network quit reading the pacemaker at 2 something in the morning. And then we found out that yes, a pacemaker will still live in a deceased body if the battery is good. We found that out. But if per se she was unalived, she was killed in the house, and the pacemaker stopped working because of that, would it have disconnected from the device? You know what I mean? Because you got to figure they were in that house for 40 minutes, right at 40 minutes, between 38 and 42 minutes. Those are different reports that I've heard, so I'm just going in between those two lines. So, I mean, I don't know. You could be right. I mean, it's like people, you know, I was trying to fit it in my brain that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't brought home the night before, right? I was trying to understand people that thought that way. But then I thought, no, that's not going to work because her blood is on the porch that wasn't there when they were taking the video, when they had the video rolling. The blood's not on the ground yet. So that tells me that that's the way they brought her out, and she was bleeding when they brought her out of the house, not before the guys went there. So I try to fit things in my brain. Sometimes they work, and other times I'm like, well, damn, that's a possibility. They might have gotten a tip about who did it, where Nancy is, and the prosecutor's office wanted to take a look at the and make sure they could get a. No, I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. Look to see if they thought they could make a homicide charge, get a conviction. Yes. Oh, I just hope tomorrow, or today, it's today already. It's Thursday, right? I'll stay up another 24 hours, you guys. If they would just bring her home. Let's just at least find her. And then if it takes us a little while longer to find the perps, then, but at least bring her home. That's the part I'm struggling with right now is the fact that she's out there somewhere. I can't stand it. I can't stand that thought. Wonder if they're going to be filming with the reality show of them making sure the media isn't there. How convenient, huh? Way to get attention. Now they want to kick everybody out. Got their ratings up. Well, I wonder if the prosecution is going to find some way when we do get to court, if they'll find some way to use that reality show in the case. I haven't watched it. Has anybody watched the reality show yet? Thank you guys so much for being here. 132 in the house. I appreciate you. Would you do me a favor and just hit the like for me? That's all I ever ask. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about the reality show. So the Pima County Sheriff's Department last year signed up for a reality show. And it is about their police. It's about their sheriff's department, you guys. There were 7 episodes released. It's on A&E, and it's called Desert Law. Has anybody been able to watch it yet? I have not watched it yet. Maybe we should watch it together. Like do an episode each night. That's because it was too far away from her phone to take any more readings. Okay, thank you, Captain. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you, love bug. My family would have me committed. I wouldn't let them, Miss Barbara. I'm going to get you. If she died in the house and her pacemaker was still able to connect, it would register that her heart had stopped. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, you guys. I did not know that. No clue. Hi, Ann's Place. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in all the way from Turkey, y'all. Wilder says me either. I think she may have been injured at least. I'm up late, so did they find her yet? They did not, but there has been movement in the case, and that's what we're covering right now. It's been the most exciting thing that's happened since the SWAT day. Y'all, please bring her home. Stop all of this. Gone by says, yes, it's going to piss me off the longer it takes to find the perps, but my heart will settle if I just can't imagine not knowing where my mom's at. I can't. Shag says, I don't know, but I got this feeling it's going to happen within the next 2 days. Oof, let's hope, or next few days, he says. Dot says, like If I have a cardiac event, I still need to push the little button and send a report to my cardiologist. So, but if she passed away or she was killed, then there's nobody to push the button to send it, right? I mean, and just, I mean, it makes sense when you guys were saying that to me, but I mean, so the cardiologist wouldn't get it until she was autopsied and it was taken out, because I do know when they do autopsies, everything, your pacemaker, any foreign object in your body that you were not born with there, a back rod in your body, all that goes home with the families, you have a choice to either take it all, like my mom's teeth, and you have the choice to turn it down. You tell it, because it goes straight to the funeral home as well. Everything that came with them goes to the funeral home, unless it's a something that they need to keep for an investigation or court or whatever. But whatever was in their body usually goes to the funeral home, and then the funeral home asks, do you want their belongings? And they give you a list of what it is, and you have the choice whether you want to take it or not. And people have taken their parents' pacemakers and rod from their leg or their back, or a bullet from the war. Nany, I'm on my way to get my new teeth. Congratulations, Ann. I'm so happy for you, love bug. So happy for you. I'm so glad that's all over for you, Ann. I'm so glad. Wild Angel says, I'm not sure if everybody here believes in prayer, but 100% I do. I believe we should be approaching her or praying for her. I know we've all been praying individually. Yeah, I think if you're a believer, I fell asleep actually praying for my aunt who's in the hospital, but I usually, before I fall asleep, but I always pray for her. I mean, not a get down on my knees prayer, but just that God would bring her home, and that whatever the family's left to deal with, it, they would have the strength to deal with that, because I can't imagine. Lee OCD says, Dot, are you talking about a Holter monitor or a pacemaker? Miss June is back. I didn't get a notification. Hi, everybody. Good to see you, Miss June. I hope you're feeling better today than you did yesterday morning. Nothing new, Miss June. We're just going back over everything that we learned yesterday. Sorry you guys didn't get notifications, but the stupid YouTube is messing up everybody's chat. It's just, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. Miss Barbara said, I heard them say that even if she was deceased, that the pacemaker would keep on working until the battery went dead. Right. But I didn't know how that worked. Well, I guess that answers my question then. One second. I have to think about what my question was. Shit. Or how my brain was working when I asked it, should I say. Diamond Lucidity said, Indiana pulled over Brian K. twice, knowing he was the suspect of Idaho. Finally got arrested in Pennsylvania. They know what they're doing. That's right. Even though, let me tell y'all, our Indiana State Police came out and said, we didn't know nothing about the FBI wanting him. Y'all, we were all like, okay, we believe you. Y'all, if you knew the counties here, the county that he got pulled in over in the same county. They're not pulling anybody over, y'all. I mean, unless it's Christmas, I guess, and they need money, and that was around Christmas time, but they're just, yeah, it's small town. Now we know different, right? We know that the FBI was tracking them all the way across the country. Shag said, I heard a doctor say that if there was a cardiac event, meaning she had a heart attack, he said they do get it. The one I heard talking about it. Yeah, and I know Dot has a pacemaker. So she's helped me understand that quite a bit, and I appreciate her for that. Yep, she has a defibrillator pacemaker, so that's what I'm referring to. Hi, Joel. Joel, good to see you again. And they're from Louisiana. Indiana sure did know. We all knew, girlfriend. We all knew. Listen, police can lie. The only time they're not supposed to lie is when they're signing on the dotted line or they're in a courtroom. They could say anything they can to you to get you to confess. 131 in chat. Miss June says, tap the 3 dots, hit the thumbs up to show the channel some love. Thank you so much. Beth says, sorry guys, I fell asleep. My big girl has rung and woke me up. Her wiener dog has had an accident. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Beth, take care. Let us know. Hope everything works out okay. Melly, Joe says, double tap your screen or even hit the thumbs up button. It's free, won't cost you a thing, but not even a whole second of your time. Miss June says, the batteries for pacemakers last for many years, so them waiting for the batteries to run out will be a long time coming. Well, maybe I have to change my mind now about her passing away in the home. I'm going to think on it. Knowing what I know now about pacemakers, whether she died by someone's hand or a car accident, unless she was shocked, because they said that if you get shocked or if you get tased or anything, when you've got a pacemaker inside you, it will kill you instantly. All right, I have to rethink all that. I'm gonna put that in the forefront of my brain to come up with a different theory on that now. I'm doing okay, a little high from the patches, but wake up not so sore when asleep, hurting and waiting for the patches to really work. God bless you, Miss June. My big girl's blaming herself because she's the one who asked to take him for a little walk. Sorry, Beth. Let us know. It was natural. She didn't have her medicine, and she also hit multiple. She was also hit multiple times. Oh, that's terrible. The captain says you cannot even sleep in the same room as a mobile phone if you have a pacemaker. I did not know that. Beth is going to be back hopefully soon. Beth, take your time, honey, and let us know. All right, I'm going to pull this up, you guys. Let's. All right, we already watched that. Let's see. That's done. What is this one? We already watched that. Y'all know who I'm pulling out. You already know it. My girl. Y'all, my girl. I'm pulling up some Nancy Grace, y'all. If you don't want to watch my Nancy, you don't have to stick around to watch my Nancy, but I find her brilliant. She used to piss me off to no end. I wanted to punch her in the fucking face. And now I love her because I'm old and I'm pissed off too. So I understand her. Dot said, who said that about shocking killing someone with a pacemaker? I've asked. Because who was I watching the other night? Oh, was it said on Nancy Grace, the cardiologist? She had a cardiologist on there, and he's the one that told us that the pacemaker will keep going for years and years and years, that those batteries are made to last for many years. The only thing that you have to worry about is to be tased. If she was tased, he said that will kill her right away. If she gets a shock or something like that, not maybe a shock sticking something in the wall, but like a quick shock or I don't know what he's talking about, but he said that being tased would kill her right away. And I do know this, I hate to say this, but most of y'all who've been around here long enough know that my oldest daughter had a heart and kidney transplant, and her sternum was struggling to heal, and she had surgeries after surgeries where they were just kind of lacing it up through her ribs and trying to get her sternum to close back up and heal, and it wouldn't do it. So she had several procedures done, and finally the last thing that they were able to do was it had closed to a certain extent, but it's still kind of open, and your rib cage actually is protecting your organs on the inside, your heart included. And so they had to put a metal plate over her ribs inside her chest. So they were trying not to have to do that. And the reason is because if she has a cardiac event, they will not be able to shock her. We cannot do CPR on her. Nothing. Luckily, she sees a cardiologist like every 3 months. So I just pray, y'all. I pray, and I try not to think about the things that I know. Lizzo, good to see you, love bug. You just missed Bethy. I don't know if she told you already. Got to be careful with any Bluetooth devices. Jean says, I had to make sure that I didn't have anything like that when I had my device, but I couldn't keep my devices on. Gone by says, I thought her phone was in the bedroom. I thought they said that it was sitting on, or maybe I imagined it. I know for sure her phone, no, her Apple Watch was in the bedroom on the nightstand plugged in. The phone, the keys, and her purse were all left in the same place. And I think they said it was like sitting on a ledge, kind of like when you walk into your front door or in a place and there's like a half wall. That's what I heard it was sitting on. That was before we ever knew there was an Apple Watch that was connected to her pacemaker. Her phone was in the room. That's what I was told. No, that was, yeah, just her iPhone, which is the same thing as a phone. June says, I literally had my device burning my skin off because it was so strong and they couldn't keep it on me for the month. I was supposed to keep it on so a pacemaker wouldn't work all the time with me. You're told to keep your phone about 3 feet away. Dot says, I always have my phone near me. A taser might be different for sure. Her story is so sad. She has something similar to go in her Nancy Grace. Yes, her first fiance was killed. And I lost the bet the day before yesterday, y'all. I said, how many times will Nancy bring up her twins? I guessed 1, and 3 times that she would bring up her deceased fiance, and she didn't mention one of them. I was a little disappointed at old Nancy because I have to tell her to shut up and don't talk about the twins on her channel. The captain says, Dot, what people do and what is recommended is 2 different things. I hear that. I'm fixing to go get a cigarette, y'all. Lee says, according to Google, cell phones can be used with a pacemaker, but recommends a 6-inch separation. Miss Jean says she will grow old and be a grandma one day. I pray. I pray. God's been good to my family, y'all. Don't get me started. Hello, Erica. Good to see you, love bug. Thanks for coming in. All right, E-Skin baby. What's the topic? Nancy Grace breaking down what happened at the house yesterday. Talking about the not Nancy Grace. Damn it, I've got Nancy Grace on the brain. Nancy Guthrie. Gone by says, I'm type 1 diabetic and need open heart surgery. Too afraid to have it. Honey, you gotta go have it. My daughter was diagnosed as a diabetic at 9 years old, and it's been hell her whole life. It's been hell. How come I want to say this? How come she didn't have one of those devices that call 911? I used to have one until someone hacking it and would not stop pressing a button. Oh, weird. They could hack those. I saw a New York Post that they had really good picture of the backyard almost going inside the house. Wow, I'll have to look and see if I can bring it up. All right, guys, I'm gonna play some Nancy. Thank you guys for being here. If you do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. That's all I ever ask of anybody of this channel. Thank you for being here so much. Thank you for the chat. That is the best part of having a channel, is when people will come in and just share their days, share their thoughts, share just in. I love it, y'all. I love it. Tell me your story. Tell me your story. It is hard to live with, and God bless you. Gone by. Listen, I just became a diabetic this year. But I'm 56 and I was the last one of my mother's children to get it. But my child is the only one out of her grandchildren. And she's got 15 grandchildren, not including her great grandchildren. that ended up with diabetes. It runs like water through my side and her dad's side. So, but God's been good, and we'll just leave it right there. All right, here we go. Let's listen to some Nancy, y'all. We look at that look, y'all. She ain't playing. She ain't playing. Here we go. Watch your ears, guys. I can't control your volume.
Mother Nancy Guthrie missing day 25. In this day and age, with the FBI on the ground, agents on the ground, sheriffs on the ground, tips pouring in, can we bring Nancy Guthrie home alive? Why not? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed, and every long night has been agony since then.
Whoever knows about Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts, that sees that and does not act, must have a heart of stone.
Please be the light in the dark.
Many of us believe that Nancy Guthrie can be brought home alive. Joining us, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know at this hour. First, straight out to Brian Trasher, who is the VP of the United Cajun Navy, who has been on the ground in Arizona. Brian, when you and your team got there, describe what you found.
Well, there was a big scene outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. Obviously, there's a lot of these, true crime, live streamers, YouTubers types, just, out there, making their living. But basically, we wanted to establish contact with local law enforcement. We had already talked to some federal law enforcement just to let them know that we were there, what our capabilities were, should they need help. But our real function out there was to go support some citizen volunteers who do a lot of search and rescue work along the border. And just to do an assessment to see if there's any need to bring any additional resources out.
When you got there, was the scene secured? Because delivery people are still taking pizzas and chicken wings up onto Nancy Guthrie's property.
There was a deputy blocking the driveway, but yeah, you're right. I wouldn't call it a secure scene. I would call it a monitored scene.
Brian, what did you and your team do in your efforts to find Nancy Guthrie?
So the biggest thing we did was launch an online tip system we have called sawitreport.com, and people can go online and send in their ideas, tips, and leads, including videos and pictures they can upload. It goes directly to us, and we share those with our friends in law enforcement. We can't guarantee that all those leads will be followed up on, but we can guarantee that they will be seen, because I think there's been a lot of frustration that people have tips and they feel like they just can't get through to anybody to share them with the appropriate people. So we're just trying to make that connection.
And so everyone can hear it properly. What is your tip line? By the way, our friends at KOLD provided that footage of delivery people going right up to the front door. What's your tip line again, Brian?
sawitreport.com.
sawitreport.com. I've looked through some of the many tips you've got. You are inundated with tips. And one I found really interesting. I mean, a lot of them are things like, my husband took Nancy Guthrie, please come arrest him. That said, you have to sort through, and out of about 20 tips, found one really interesting one, and it's about the ski mask. Tell me about the tip you got about the ski mask, Brian Trasher.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting that there was, a description of the ski mask, and, people saw it on the Ring camera. And, like I said, we're forwarding these along to professional detectives and investigators so they can determine, what, if anything, should be followed up on. That's why we encourage everybody that, just send anything you got. I mean, it's day 25, as you said at the top of your show. I think there are no bad ideas at this point.
I'm curious about this tip regarding the ski mask. The ski mask is outlined in white around the eyes and the mouth. Let's see the porch guy. And then we'll come. Oh, yeah, there you go. Perfect. Thank you, control room. There he is with a bite light in his mouth, which I'm sure is covered in saliva. This much more resembles the ski mask. And I want to point out, everybody, that when you think his ski mask is gray on the left, that's not necessarily true. That's due to the night lighting. But the white trim, very, very compelling. Now, according to the tip, there's only one brand that makes the mask, and it's only sold in one store in Tucson. Okay? It should be much easier to locate the suspect from this mask. You know, I'm very curious. When you spoke to the searchers, why did they feel they need to search in addition to local law enforcement?
So this is a group that they're actually, a lot of them are from over the border in Mexico, and they search for a lot of people that go missing, presumably cartel victims. And they just kind of felt it tugging on their hearts that, you know, they're used to going out and searching for people. So they just wanted to lend a hand and search around that area where they end up finding a lot of people down by the border. So they're not even really in the Tucson area all the time. They're searching in a lot of places where
Right.
unfortunately victims get disposed.
Brian, where exactly are they searching?
You know, not to sound too morbid, but they're searching in a lot of, you know, like ditches and, you know, again, different places near the border where bodies tend to get dumped, but usually cartel victims.
I was looking at additional tips that you got. Here's one, and I found it really interesting. This person had a dream. Okay. Maybe Nancy was by the mountains, is what I first thought. But then there were no buildings. And she goes on walking around a porch, two men parked on the road, a four-door car, a truck or SUV. One said, quote, "I always couldn't stand that old hag." In the dream, it was a member of the family, possibly a coworker. It goes on and on and on. And in her dream, she describes what law enforcement is wearing. It just happens to be exactly what we've seen on camera, the Pima County sheriffs. It goes on and on, which I will spare you all of the details, but you have to wade through tips like premonitions and dreams that don't make any sense and find hard tips, hard facts to follow. So who is sorting through your tips? Are you guys doing that with volunteers as well?
Yes, and the company that designed sawit.reportit.com, Rapid Response Systems, they're the ones that have the back office server with all, you know, that has all the media that gets uploaded. And yeah, volunteers are together kind of going through these, and the ones that we think are worthy, we're forwarding to friends at law enforcement. And you know, ones like you just read, you know, we're just kind of you know, just passing up.
Brian, from where did you travel to get to Tucson?
Actually, our incident commander that's on the ground there was in Oklahoma. We were responding to some of the wildfires up there. And when we got contacted by this volunteer group, he flew right over to Tucson from Oklahoma City.
Brian, I'm curious. You obviously, along with your searchers, have not given up hope that you can find Nancy and bring her home. Why is it? Why do you believe there's still hope to bring Nancy Guthrie home? Why are you out searching and leading a team of searchers?
So, you know, recently we just found young R.J. Davis, a 12-year-old boy that went missing in Chickasha, Oklahoma. He was missing for 9 days, and we fortunately found him alive and well. So that gives us confidence that, you know, we can never give up hope. But at the very least, you know, giving comfort to the family, know that there's a force multiplier out there of good-hearted citizens that are trying to do the best they can to help this massive law enforcement effort. There's a lot of pressure on law enforcement with the high-profile nature of this case. And so we just want to make sure nothing gets missed.
Joining us, Brian Trasher, Vice President of the United Cajun Navy, traveling all the way to Tucson to lead volunteers, not only in a tip line, but searching for Nancy Guthrie. Brian, thank you for being with us. I know you're...
All right, guys. We did hear the day before yesterday that the Cajun Navy was going to be in there, going down there to assist in the search. We didn't know the details of it. We didn't know that those ladies were the ones that reached out to them, which I think is just awesome. I thought about something when I was listening to him talk about these women who came from over the border that usually look for bodies from the cartel and things like that. And can you imagine how many that they have actually found? But if you remember when they, Lizzo and Maggie were doing a live the day that those women were at the Guthrie residence, and they were walking around with a stick and putting it in the ground, and then they would pull it up and they would smell it to see if they could smell any decomposition from the ground. And if you remember, there were neighbors that had called for trespassing and things like that. They kind of got run out of that area. Pardon me. But they were able to leave their missing posters. They put them on Nancy's mailbox there with numbers and things to reach out if you knew anything. JLR did show that, or maybe it was Brian, and one of them showed him in a video. So it is still on her mailbox as far as I know. And but I thought, wouldn't it be interesting that those ladies, those sweet ladies, whoever they are, God, they got to be strong ass women. If they were the one to find Nancy, I mean, if she is deceased, wouldn't that be like almost poetic justice for them? You know, I mean, they obviously have good hearts. They don't have to do it. It's a voluntary position, you guys. They just go out there. It's what they do. They care about humanity, and they're out looking for these people. It's not what they have to do. It is amazing to me. It's amazing to me. And look, I understand, you know, investigations, you know, there are people that go too far. They impede investigations. They, you know, the public has screwed up some investigations, but not every crime is messed up by a YouTuber being out there reporting on it day in and day out. Not every crime is messed up by a group of women who come in and say, hey, we're going to do our thing right here because it's proven successful. We have found many people that have passed away from the cartel out here. So we just want to offer services. You owe us nothing. I mean, that's admirable. And so I just think it would be kind of poetic justice if Nancy is deceased and if she has just been placed anywhere in the desert or whatever, that they would be the ones to find her. I got stopped by this comment right here, so I want to see. All these stupid posts about cell phones and mid pacemakers are a lie. Your phone is fine on and in your hands. Why bother lying, Nicole? What are you talking about? Are you talking about people who have pacemakers that they're not supposed to have a phone in their hand or a phone close to the pacemaker? Do you have a pacemaker? What is, I mean, what's your knowledge on it? Because there's actually people in chat that have a pacemaker, and they're not supposed to have their phones within so many inches of their chest. If you guys are going to come in here and make stupid ass comments like this, just don't bother, because you're going to get blocked. What I would do is I'd probably say, hey, I'm probably going to make a stupid ass comment. Can I talk to Nany just for a second? But have the balls to stand up and talk, have an adult conversation with me. If you think you're so smart, let's do it, because the people here with pacemakers would totally put you to shame for saying that. That's dumb. You are definitely a Trump supporter. Do you want to talk about it? Don't lie. We're not even talking about Trump here, Ito. So stage right to you as well. Mary Jane Doe says, I think people are just being misinformed or are misinformed. Hi, Allie. Thank you for being here. Hello, Lord Alcatraz. Remember Lori Daybell? It's obvious. It's an inside job. To me, nothing's out of the realm of possibilities right now. I'm willing to entertain just about anything. Just about anything. Mike says, God woke me up. I'm a little sore from shoveling my car out yesterday. Bless you, Mikey. But other than that, I can't complain. Shag, time to go. If you don't like what people are saying in here, then don't come in. Right. Wild Angel says Trump has nothing to do with the missing Nancy. Totally off subject. Hit the road, Jack. So I can't mess with you. You're like little kids. You're welcome to come up on my panel and have a discussion with me. I'm not gonna play like a little kid, let you chat while you're hearing my voice. I will roast you on my panel. I will roast you. Believe me, your ass will be hurting so bad by the time you get off this panel, you'll be begging me to get away from me. Promise you that. Regardless if anyone's missing from Disney, no need to be rude. Show your face, please. No. Do you guys even read the title? This isn't about me. It's not about you. It's not about Trump. It's about a woman, an 84-year-old woman who's missing, you guys. MJ says maybe back in the day people couldn't have phones and pacemakers, so they're so close to each other, but I'm sure they've evolved now. I wouldn't know anything about it. I'm going off of what __ says because she actually has one. How do I come up? You want to come up here? Whatever takes me up on that. People love to watch what they hate and cry about. Okay, thank you. If you find yourself getting upset at the chat, poke the screen at least twice. You mumble obscenities. I find it makes me feel better. Hi, Damage. Is it okay that I'm getting excited when Lady gets tough with trolls? Hi, Sierra. Just don't acknowledge the trolls. No, I'd love to roast people, though, especially when they're being little assholes, little fuckers. Police should have taped off the crime scene. They botched everything they do. I'm on the same page of the book with you, Rosanna. I will never understand putting up crime scene tape, taking it down 30 hours later, putting it back up, taking it down, and then putting it back up. I will never understand that. And I'm telling you right now, to get a conviction on whoever they arrest for this, it's going to be difficult to bring in any kind of evidence against them after the crime scene tape came down the first time. Just going to say, because it could have been planted. It could have. All we're doing here is discussing, praying, hoping that Nancy is found and returned to her family. Hi, Derek, who was responsible for paying the alarm system. We all want to know that as well, Derek. Thank you for coming in. Good point. We all want to know that. It doesn't make sense. A lot of this just doesn't make sense. Dot says the phone pacemaker thing is because of the magnet. It can cause problems for cardiac device. Cops always make things worse, except for when you need a cop. When you need a cop, then they're your friends. Her daughter has power of attorney. Shag says botched purposely. I'm telling you that. Sheriff is shady. He's involved somehow. All right, we're caught up. Let's go back to my friend Nancy. I thought her husband was. I think it's Mary Jane. It's just everybody has different opinions on it. All right, hold on. Gosh, can you bring this back up? Y'all watch your ears.
Heading out to the scene. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, here's the timeline, you guys. Here, she's going to show the timeline. This is very, very important.
Straight out to Tammy Ballard joining us, DNA and crime scene consultant, crime scene investigation and reconstructionist, and former DNA criminalist at the San Diego Police Department Crime Lab. Tammy, thank you for being with us. Got a lot of questions. Now we know during those critical 41 minutes, wow, he sure felt at home, didn't he? That's something for our behavioralists to analyze along with our law enforcement.
Guys, I'm just going to stop it right here because I want to reiterate the timeline that we have on this. This is the newest timeline. We talked about it the other night, but for those that somebody asked me in here just yesterday morning when I was live, what the timeline was. So here you go. Take a picture of it. Keep it, whatever you want to do with it. At 9:48, we know the garage door's open. That's what they say. At 9:50, the garage door closes. Supposedly, that is when family, quote unquote, dropped her back off to her home. At 9:47 a.m., the door cam disconnects. That means that prior to that 1:47 mark, that's when we're seeing the perpetrator on the porch messing around with it. At 2 a.m., the pacemaker spikes. The police say that the reason why the pacemaker spikes is because that is when Nancy was aware that she was not alone. At 2:12, software detects a person on camera. So outside, that's what they're saying. At 2:28 a.m., the pacemaker disconnects from the phone. Y'all, that's so sad. So for 28 minutes, for sure, we know that they could see her heart rate and what was happening with it. And 11:56 a.m. the next day, family checks on Nancy.
He didn't mind staying in the home at least 41 minutes without fear of being detected. That's a whole nother can of worms. But what we are learning now, he got in the door himself, no help from Nancy Guthrie. He walked through. Go with me, Tammy Ballard. Think it through. Walks through the front door. Did she have hardwood? Did she have carpet? Is there a rug? What difference would it make when it comes to DNA and trace evidence left behind? Is there a decorative table at the entrance? Is there tchotchke items sitting on the table? Did he touch that table? Did he take saliva from his bite light onto his hand, his gloved hand, and touch anything like that table? What would his shoes leave behind? He made his way through the entrance of the home, we believe, and back to her bedroom. What did he pass? Does it matter if what he touched was porous, such as a rug, such as carpet, such as a blanket lying on her living room sofa? Goes into her bedroom, opens her door, turns on her light, and rousts a sleeping 84-year-old lady out of her bed. What evidence did he leave behind, Tammy Ballard?
I would imagine that he touched quite a few things within 41 minutes of being in that residence. So I'm just going to throw it out there that people don't always think that somebody breaking into a home is going to be as comfortable as they are, but San Diego ended up having so many cases where somebody actually took the time to get a drink from the refrigerator, actually eat something while they're in somebody's residence. So you can't really discount anything that may have even been in the kitchen. But moving in towards her bedroom, I'm not as excited about something that might be on the floor, but I am sure excited about anything that he may have touched, an interior door handle, anything in her bedroom, around her nightstand, even her sheets. I'm imagining those were collected if she's removed from her bed. So there is nothing that can be overlooked in this situation, and I'm hoping that they have taken multiple items, but again, that's going to extend your time for trying to identify the perpetrator.
Oh, y'all, that's just disgusting to think about. Oh, man. The captain says, someone please tell me how they know they even entered the front door. I think they're just doing speculation because that's where he's seen. I don't believe that he entered the front door. I think somebody was at the back door and they went through the back door because the first day when it came out, the police told us that Tabasco, tomato sauce, hot sauce dude is the one that dropped her off. And they walked that back and called it the family dropped her off. And then they said that when the family got there and they called 911, that the back door was wide open. Then they walked that back and they said that they never said that, or that didn't happen. And then we just heard last week, they said that they know for sure that the front door was unlocked when the family got there. So I just think that they spit shit out there and then they realize, I probably shouldn't have put that out. So they walk it back, right? Well, guess what? It's already out there. We already know. So I think it's just different people think differently, but I do believe that they went through the back, or somebody went through the back and got in, and then may have come to the front door and let the dude that we see on camera through the front door. That's the only way I think somebody would have gone through the front door. So, which would probably make more sense than that dude running back around the house the long way and then getting in the house that way instead of just walking straight through the front door. He had the camera already disassembled, right? So why not just walk in the front door if your buddy's coming in through the back? I want to say Dot said up here, just so you guys know, Ashley Bamfield said that Nancy had just started wearing pretty strong hearing aids. So possibly this is why she didn't hear anything. Yeah, we didn't find that out till last week that about her hearing aids. And like I said, I don't expect them to tell us everything that they know. They got to leave things for the perpetrator to tell them. But that was interesting to hear that her hearing aids were left at the house too. So it makes you wonder, my husband can only hear out of one ear, and he purposely, because I stay up at night with my dogs, sometimes I can sleep at night, sometimes I can't. He purposely will sleep on his good ear. And especially when, like if I had the grandbabies over or something, he's got to work the next morning, he sleeps on the side of his good ear to cancel out the sound. And I asked him, I'm like, do you hear these dogs in here barking at night? I'm sorry. He's like, I didn't hear them. I don't hear them at all. So I think you're right. I think Ashley Banfield's onto something there. She probably didn't hear a damn thing. Hi, Tammy Ferguson. She says prayers they find her safe. MJD says, I think someone went through the back door and opened the front door. That makes a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense to me about the front door. And I think everybody believes at this point that she was taken out the front door because of the blood. But we also know, you guys, and for those that have already been here for most of the live, you guys have already heard me say this, but for those that haven't been here, if you notice when anybody goes out to the house, police, sheriffs, FBI, whoever, they're either walking through the garage door where the door goes up and you usually park your car. They either go that way or they go inside the fence. And there's a blue door that is just a regular kind of door that has a knob on it, and you open it and you can go in and out of the garage that way. They are not using the front entrance, and they are not using the back entrance to the backyard or to the house, the back entrance to the house. They're just only using the garage. So that makes me think that both doors were used in this crime, and that's why they're not walking on it, even though the mat's still sitting outside. Y'all don't get me started. I have a whole thing about the mat. I remember when I was younger, our neighbor's house got broken into during the day while everyone was at school or work, and they broke and stole a VCR and made a sandwich and ate it. So disrespectful. You hear that a lot though, right? Like if they know they're not home, people just go in there and eat. That's weird to me. She had other cameras too. Absolutely. I believe 100% there was cameras all around that house. When I had my device on and it spiked, they called me so fast on the phone. And if they can't get me, the neighbor came next door from their house to knock on my door to see if I was okay. Right. So that's another question a lot of people are asking. The minute that the Apple Watch quit detecting her pacemaker, why wasn't any of the family alerted? And then I saw someone up in chat say, why wasn't the doctor called right away? Why didn't the doctor call in right away? Good question. Why, who, I mean, if it was my mom, if it was your mom, wouldn't your phone be connected to her pacemaker? So if something does happen to her during the night, like you're going to get alerted so you can get over there and take care of whatever you got to take care of. And I know I'm really sensitive about this stuff, you guys, because of my own daughter's experience. So maybe but I don't think I'm alone in it. I think just as parents, no matter if you go through something hard like this or not, you're just aware of that. But that's what you would do, is make sure that you were the one being notified. Might have taken a few minutes to find her bedroom as big as the house is, right? Almost 4,000 square feet, the house is. I swear the sheriff said at the first press conference he did, the back door was wide open and there was broken glass at the back door. That's right. That's what he said. While he's crying. Because that made me think that the family went in through the back door. And then I thought, no, they wouldn't do that. They're probably like my family, and we only use the garage door. It's right there. You pull up, the garage is right there. Just hit the button and go in. I know he was right in the back before he came to the front door. So if you saw the police activity that was there today, whether it be FBI or whoever, they were concentrating on the left. If you're looking at the house, if you're standing in front of the house and looking at it, they were concentrating between the front door and around the left side, not the right side where the garage is, but around the left side. And we did a Google Earth and zoomed down to her house. And we know on the end of the house over there, there's like a little, what would you guys call it? It's like a little porch, a private porch. There's no way to get in and out of it, except for to go back through the house. So I think that that's the master bedroom right there, because it looks just like a little outdoor sitting area. But we also know this house has been added on to. And I think I've pretty much proven that the whole front of the house has been redone. Mary Jane Doe, pretty sure they said the back door was wide open. Right, because I always thought, why would they go through the back door? That's dumb. Miss June says the herniates have GPS signals on it, so I wear hair needs in the hearing actually have GPS on where they are. Oh, your hearing aids have GPS as to where they're at. Gotcha. Don't hearing aids connect to your phone too? Yeah, Mikey, that's what I remember. I think my father-in-law, before he passed, his connected. In fact, my stepmom down in Georgia, her hearing aids do connect to her phone, because when somebody calls, it automatically comes to her hearing aids. Yeah, Bluetooth. That's right. That's right. Oh, God. Hi, Coffee. Good to see you, honey. Thank you for coming back. Appreciate you so much. Good morning to you. I know that Matt POS driving me crazy. They need to take it at least. I mean, just take it. If you're going to just throw it away, at least take it off the porch. So I'll shut the hell up about the damn map that's still out there. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm obsessed with the damn map. Damage says statistics will tell you that most cases intruders use any back entrance to avoid detection, typically 9 to 5. Mikey says, yeah, very weird. They would piss me off more than stealing that would piss me off more than stealing my TV. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. What's up with all the other cameras around the house? Why didn't they bring them dogs in week 1? Actually, the dogs did come in, Kelly, day 2. They had cadaver dogs out there, and they had search and rescue dogs out there. Vortec, which is the search and rescue dogs, right there on the border. They're said to be the best in the world. Now, how long they searched and how far and why they searched, I couldn't tell you, because they're not telling us that stuff. But Vortec was there, and look them up. Those dogs are the best of the best. So they were there. But why they haven't been back since, I don't know. I'm good when it comes to parents, but if it spikes, they call you right away. That's something that always done when I had an Apple Watch. It did the same thing. It called 911 for me, right? Dot says my device is currently not connected. No one ID calling me. Girl, put me on it. I'll call you. Captain says I have a bit of a problem. Them not taking the front doormat away as well. It shows a man having a mouth torch, which means you could have saliva all over the door. Y'all speak of my language now. I'm so glad everybody's pissed off about the mat too. Oh, I'm obsessed with the mat. I'm so pissed off about the mat, y'all. That's the one thing that pisses me off the most about this case is every time I see the damn mat. And we saw it there again today, y'all. They should have had a plan in case something like this happens. Well, I mean, they say every police department, you know, they learn from different. Hey, y'all, that's my dogs in the background, and they're playing tug of war right now. So we're just gonna let them play. In their living room. What I was saying. Oh, so they say police departments train on different scenarios of true crime things that have happened. That's how they train on them. So how often they have to do it? Is it like a fire drill at school? I don't know. Maybe it should be. Turn off your Bluetooth. Device disconnects. The cardiologist is not going to call every time. That's right. Let's see. The pacemaker cannot turn off, so it could turn off the Bluetooth, but it should have alerted someone and let someone know that it got turned off, and it should also alerted the doctors. I agree. Gone by says I thought that might be off the kitchen. I think I could be wrong. I think it makes more sense. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know how to explain it. To me, when I first looked at the whole house thing, to me that because there's no way, if it was off the kitchen, there's no way to get out of it. It's bricked in. So it's like just a little patio, like a little retreat, if you will. I would put a hot tub out there, be my little retreat. That's what it looks like. You would have to jump the wall to get over the side. The only way to get in and out is through the house. So that made me think it's the master bedroom. It's part of the suite. If it was off the kitchen, wouldn't it go somewhere like to the backyard or the side of the house or something? That's why I thought. I could be wrong though. That house is big and beautiful, way too big for her to be living alone. The sitting porch, yeah. Oh, I think I would love to have a little spot like that, actually. I really would. June says, sorry about the text. Oh, it's okay. I understand it completely. Usually I can pick up the words and fill them in myself. If not, if I'm reading funny and then I just don't answer, it's because I didn't understand. But it's okay. Something isn't adding up, Kelly said. Now I did hear a rumor about Nancy having a boyfriend. God, I hope she did. I think everybody needs a little love. She had a side piece. God, I hope so. I hope so. The real lunch lady, Yahoo's written all the music for According to Nany. It is not AI. It was written by our very own lunch lady, y'all. She's the manager of our channel, living right over there in West Virginia. Welcome, girlfriend. I bought a map for my best friend here that says, "Ho, why are you here?" Girls, it in my mailbox. Just kidding. The map pisses me off so bad, you guys. I have serious problems with the damn fucking porch mat. Like, I want to take that mat and go slap every sheriff in that, every law enforcement in that sheriff's office for not picking it up. Like, the man was standing all over it. And just like the captain says, saliva's probably everywhere, y'all. There could be tracked DNA or anything. He could have tracked something from his car, his house, and it's still sitting in, like, welcoming people to her home. I'm at a loss. And then old Chris Madonna, who is Maggie's side boo, you know, she be loving her some Madonna. He finally came out and he was talking to somebody and he's like, look, tell Savannah to go get the mat. Oh, Chris trying to jump into my gravy over here that I'm stirring and cooking, y'all. I've been calling that since day one. Look, I understand it's probably a DNA cesspool. I get it. But what happens if there's just one little cell? June says they didn't collect the map because it was irrelevant. And they probably didn't have anything on it. But okay, so do you want somebody investigating your mother missing on a probability? And you don't, that's what investigation is. You decipher what's relative and what's irrelative. If a perpetrator is walking all over the damn mat, I think it's pretty relevant. And the only way to prove it would be to put it under a scope. Wild Angel, I heard that Savannah may have hired her own investigators. That's what we heard too. They had their own PI. So yeah, that would be something that would be a good idea. I can't believe nobody else has thought of it. The mat will have all sorts of trace DNA on it. I believe so too. I wish my hair was thick, Lulu. I wish my hair was thicker. Gone By says, not taking the map, but tested a black glove found on the roadside. You have to do it all. Listen, I know it's a lot of work. I know it, but what happens if that one glove that you left on the side of the road was the one? All right, let's go back to my girl, y'all. Let's get really fast.
Tammy Ballard joining us, DNA expert. I want to talk about the bed sheets, the bed cover, the pillowcase.
I want to talk about it too. Bring it.
How is collecting DNA from that, which is a porous surface, different?
Y'all have to stop it right there. I'm going to rewind it because I want you guys to zoom in. Watch how Nancy says porous surface. I'm doing it just like her. My eyebrows are raising just like hers. It's amazing. She says porous surface. Watch. I'm going to rewind it real quick. She's so good. Like, so good. Hold on. I got to get it back.
When you have a porous surface.
Nope. Went too far.
Those items.
Son of a biscuit eater, you guys. Did I lose it? Damn it. She said porous surface so good. Ah, screw it.
Surface areas and much easier to work with.
Porous surface.
Tammy, question. When you have a porous surface, such as
she didn't lift her eyebrows that time,
or a pillowcase, would you use an MVAC for that as opposed to standard swabbing on a hard surface?
I'm a big proponent of the MVAC nowadays. I've been doing a lot of cold case review, and I'm seeing some amazing success stories with MVAC. Again, that's going to cover a lot more surface area than swabbings and cuttings from bedding and pillowcases. So I am a fan of the MVAC. You do have to be careful so that you're not creating mixtures on those large surface areas. So what you're trying to do right now is localize something to make sure that you can identify a perpetrator. Hopefully with her bedding, that's going to be something that's pretty much Nancy Guthrie, but you've got to understand that in everybody's home, there are so many mixtures of DNA because of just the nature of people coming into somebody's home. She's got family, friends, littles or grandchildren. So this is something where hopefully in the bedroom, it's much more of Nancy's DNA so that you're only battling Nancy and a perpetrator and not every single other contributor for a mixture.
Tammy, when you have and I've worked with bed sheets before.
Yeah, me
too. What I was looking for was blood spatter, and we found it underneath the victim's pillow. And the theory was that she shot herself. So there was no way that blood spatter got underneath the pillow where she shot herself, which proved it was a murder, in fact. that said that was for blood spatter. And I know how we did that, how we ISO'd that portion of the sheet. But when you're looking for DNA, what do you do with something like a sheet? Do you hang it up while you're wearing plastic gloves and you ISO the portion where you don't want to analyze the part that was tucked in down at the bottom of the bed. You've got to ISO the likely location of the sheets where perp left DNA. How do you
Correct.
do it?
So what's going to be very important is where you start right at the beginning. You've got those, hopefully they have amazing photos. They have documentation with orientation, so you know how those bed sheets, bedspreads, anything were oriented. That's going to really cut out some potential surface area. I have no idea, and it would obviously be something that nobody wants to really discuss, but he's in there for 41 minutes. If there's any kind of salt component to it, that's got to be something that's considered. Looking around the carpet, they should have used an alternate light source in the residence, and then also on the bedding, once that gets brought back to the laboratory, you're going to just be picking that apart. But you can really help with controlling that massive amount of surface area by at least documenting well.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop this before it gets out of hand. No. So they were not saying that that Nancy was shot in the head. Nancy Guthrie was shot in the head. Nancy Grace was talking about a crime scene that she did where a woman had been shot in the head, and they were saying it wasn't a murder because there was the blood splatter the way that the DNA went, and she proved that it was a murder because of where the DNA went. So she's just using it as an example of how DNA may look, but tested the right way and proven the right way, it can actually prove the case. So no, Nancy Guthrie was not shot in the head. It was just a whole thing that they were talking about. It's okay. I just wanted to make sure that, that's how those rumors get started, y'all. 20, thank you so much, y'all. June's on it. Miss June's on it. She's gonna make sure we get our 100 likes. Thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all, look at this idiot. Oh, I just want to go punch him. Y'all, as soon as he gets arrested, you guys, I'm headed out to Arizona. I'm gonna stay with Miss Barbara. I'm gonna clean the house and scrub the toilet. She's gonna cook for me, or her daughter's gonna cook for me. We're going to hang out. We're going to laugh at everybody we know. And then I'm going to find this guy. I'm going to punch him in the fucking head.
At the scene with photos and orientation.
As much as no one wants to imagine it, there has to be tests for assault.
She just said SA assault.
There's no question about that. So let me finish this up. An MVAC, to my understanding, is used on porous surfaces such as carpet, rug, blanket, sheet, pillowcase. Traditional swabbing is used on hard surfaces. Is that correct?
Agree, although I've had some cold cases, definitely people that have crossed over the border and ended up in the desert and ended up as homicide victims. And I've had rocks that have had successful results with MVAC. So yes, semi-porous, but also it's a hard surface. So I think the MVAC is pushing a lot of different, forward motion when it comes to the items. But it's definitely, MVAC is something very useful to obtaining as many cells as you can. But that being said, if there's something like semen evidence that can be localized with an alternate light source, you're going to be doing what we call presumptive testing, which is a color test essentially to indicate the possibility of semen being present. That can be done, and then you're moving forward with DNA analysis.
We know that investigators have been back at Nancy Guthrie's home today, searching for what? We don't know. They're behind closed doors. On day 25, they're still searching. For everyone out there that is sending in tips, be it on Facebook, Insta, X, Twitter, keep doing it. Don't stop. Regarding this development that we now know. Oh, hey, one other quick question, Tammy, for right now anyway. Is there a difference if there is rug, carpet, or hardwood floors?
Yes, because the hardwood floors are going to have something that's a lot more easy to detect. Carpet, I did actually spend an entire week in a textile with bloodstain patterns class, and you learn a lot about what you can and can't say, but you know that with carpet, it's going to wick that down. So that's going to be harder to find if it's some sort of semen evidence, something that's not visible like blood. Even blood gets wicked down. So it would be amazing if it was just hardwood. That would be so much simpler. The carpet obviously gives you more work that you've got to overcome, right, but it can be done.
Well, another issue, the reason I'm asking is because I'm considering the possibility of fiber evidence. I worked in the office where Wayne Williams was tried. That was the first time in U.S. history that fiber evidence of that type was allowed into evidence at trial, and it showed Wayne Williams' carpet fibers from his vehicle and a unique shag carpet fiber from his parents' home where he lived on the victims' bodies. So I'm very, very interested in potential fiber evidence off the defendant, possibly out of his vehicle, in Nancy Guthrie's home. As we go to air tonight, investigators have been back in Nancy Guthrie's home throughout the day. Doing what?
When she was talking about the fibers being on that body, was anybody thinking, oh, the mat's still there, could have fibers on it? Or is that just me? The mat's still there, guys. It could have fibers on it. Hi, May. Good to see you. Who do I got to tell that to so the mat can be picked up?
Straight out to Ken Strange joining us, former FBI agent on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, former special agent in charge of the DOJ, PI, author of A Cop's Son. Thank you for being with us, Ken. What do you make of the fact that we now know for sure Nancy Guthrie was rousted out of her bed, an 84-year-old woman, 2 a.m.? What evidence can we get from that? And what does it lead you to believe, Ken?
Well, I think there's plenty of evidence to obtain from that. She's going to be in motion with one, possibly two other people, and they're probably going to have some kind of a difficulty. She's infirm. She's almost, look at it like a sack of potatoes. I hate to say that, but they're going to have to move her out of the house. And again, she's shedding all kinds of DNA, and so are they, most likely. And they're probably going to get her to an egress. And then they'll be looking for a vehicle to either put her into or stuff her into, maybe a trunk, and that's what this suggests to me.
Hey, that leads me to another question. Back to Tammy Ballard. Tammy, I was wondering about this as it relates to the gloves the porch guy's wearing. He did that so he wouldn't leave behind DNA and fingerprints. But when you put on a glove, one of your hands has got to be naked to put on the first glove, right?
Unless he's wearing another pair of gloves.
Yeah, you're right, Tammy. You're right. It looks like he's wearing a pair of gloves underneath those gloves. I was hoping that we could get some type of transfer DNA, touch DNA off the outside of the gloves as he tried to get her out of bed. It's very delicate. How
about the mat that he's standing on right now? Can we get transfer DNA from the mat that he's standing on?
Delicate DNA work. Okay, Ken Strange, you're right. I want to go to Mike Gould joining us. And Strange, Shipley, Kilashevsky, Ballard, jump in whenever you have a thought. To Mike Gould, let me tell you who Gould is. former Nassau County lieutenant, founding member of the NYPD K-9 unit. He has investigated multiple missing people, and I can't count all that, but also working with serial killer cases, specifically Gilgo Beach, which I find really interesting that he also worked on Secret Service detail for not one but two presidents. That said, Gould, thank you for being with us tonight. I want to talk to you about the dogs. You started the NYPD K-9 unit, which is extremely impressive. When you think back, for instance, the Scott Peterson case, a tracker dog tracked Lacey Peterson's scent from Modesto to the San Francisco marina, and she was taken, we believe, hidden in the back of a vehicle or in the back of a boat with a cover over it. One of the two. That far. So, in this case, what are the mechanics? What should the dogs be doing or should have done the moment they got there?
Right, Nancy, thanks. The moment they got there, obviously visual examination of a crime scene is important. Human visual eye, you see a lot inside a house, and frankly, dogs wouldn't be that powerful of an odor detecting tool inside the home. Once the body was removed from the home, anywhere, dogs are natural hunters. They're odor detectors. That's how they survive. They're predators that rely on finding food. And when we train dogs, that's all we're doing. We're substituting their ability to find something for food. So dogs don't make moral decisions. They're not looking for an 84-year-old woman. They're looking for the odor or cells, very similar to DNA, skin cells. As I said, we are depositing thousands, hundreds of thousands of skin cells as we sit and move around our house. So the point is, the answer is trailing dogs are very effective. However, they're also highly trained and they're not that available. Usually, as you know, they're usually bloodhounds. Bloodhounds are genetically engineered with floppy ears and wrinkly skin to detect odor, to scrape up get these air molecules inside their nose for examination. Once these odors are imprinted in a dog's brain, they can almost never be defeated with 95% accuracy, knowing that almost any instrument is a metal detector at the airport, false alerts all the time, but it takes a human to look and corroborate what does it mean? Why did the metal detector go off? Answer to your question, yes, they should have used bloodhound, specifically trained for scent identification, like the old movies, Prison Break movies. They give somebody a piece of clothing and the dog identifies that unique odor of that individual and then follows the trail. Once the trail dissipates, and it will, of course, at some point, they're not going to. So you have to know fact from fiction. As I said, Lassie wasn't searching because he thought Timmy was hurt. He was just detecting Timmy's unique odor that was imprinted in the dog's brain forever. And that's what they're doing. They're hunting for odor.
American homeowners, the FBI has been
I'm
warning
just going to
about.
say it right now. We all know dogs are freaking amazing. And that wall, that bright wall, I mean, it's something. It's something. It matches his head. It matches his head. Dogs are freaking amazing. These dogs amaze me every freaking day. So much so that my cat wants to be a dog.
How would they have gone about that? That was Nancy's shirt. I mean, is it like in the movies where you let the dog smell the shirt and then go, and they go? How does it work?
Yeah, so this is the problem. As I said, each dog is a specialist in finding maybe 7 or 8 different odors. So a bomb dog isn't finding bombs. They're finding the components of commonly used bombs. Accelerant dogs look for accelerants. The dogs we see at the airport couldn't trail anybody because they're not trained to do it. They're either looking for agriculture, narcotics, or weapons. So you have to understand what the dog specializes in, just like we all specialize in something. So yes, they can do this. Yes, they're available. It's a highly complicated process, just like DNA. You know, DNA and the use of dogs is where science and nature intersects. When I'm doing a case, I work exclusively with scientists to look for topography and certain things that will lead me to the remains of somebody. It's not just a dog, a magical creature that works wonders. So you have to just know what you're looking at. So when you ask, is it possible? Absolutely, it's impossible. But unfortunately, if you, even as a prosecutor or a defense attorney or a law enforcement officer, if you never actually saw how dogs work, you're probably not likely to understand them or use them.
Well, we know that the canine unit from the Border Patrol was brought out. Is it possible, as we were told in the Lacey Peterson case, for a dog to track a scent even if the person is in the car?
Well, again, as I said, the further, just like DNA, as the further the skin cells deteriorate or degrade, there's a point of diminishing returns. It can tell you where the dog stopped. You might know the direction of travel, east, west, and in the right environment, it can go miles. But it's again, you have to understand where fact and fiction really relies. And unfortunately, with dogs, we're always using anecdotal information that we may see online where a dog found, but dogs are finding human remains. In the Gilgo Beach case, 25 years after, or 20 years after they were dropped out there. So they can do amazing things, but they're not infallible.
So, Mike Gould, based on what you just said about the Gilgo Beach case, is it possible if dogs were brought out right now, they could still track Nancy Guthrie's scent?
Odor deteriorates just like DNA deteriorates. So the likelihood it degrades. Could they find her alive right now, track her to a location? It's highly, highly questionable if that's that could actually.
Guys, tonight we know investigators back at Nancy Guthrie's home. Doing what? We also have positive information that is irrefutable, that Nancy did not go to the door, as many have speculated, and let the perp in. She was rousted out of her bed. What evidentiary avenues does this open up? Also tonight, we are learning that authorities are trying to track not just cell phone usage in the area, but the usage of smart watches. Joining me is Todd.
Son of a biscuit eater. I hate that when that happens to me. Sorry, it was needed because I had something good to say. So I'll say it again. We know that it's irrefutable evidence that Nancy did not come to the front door and let anybody in. We don't know if she went to the back door to let anybody in, to tell you the truth. I mean, she could have seen the person out back and they knocked on the door. Maybe she came. I don't think that's possible. And on top of that, Savannah's last video that she did said that her mother was taken in the dead of night from her bed. I think if her mother happened to open the door to somebody, she would not have said that. And I don't think, I kind of feel like that was, I kind of feel like she wasn't supposed to say that. I do. I just feel like, why would they want us to know she was taken from the bed? Why not just let people believe that she really did answer the door? Nobody's going to answer the door to a guy in a mask. There's two windows on both sides of the front door. Anybody's going to look out them before they open the door, I would think, I would hope. And then the back door, did she recognize someone at the back door? You know, is that what they're used to doing? I just don't see it. I see them more as using either the front or even the garage door like my family does. My family only uses the garage. So I don't think Savannah Guthrie would have put out in her latest video that her mother was taken in the dead of the night from her bed if that's not exactly how it happened. That's just my opinion.
Shipley, digital cybercrime expert, former detective sergeant, Reno PD, 25 years in law enforcement, author of Surviving a Cyber Attack, author of Investigating Internet Crimes. Todd, thank you for being with us. Explain to me how a smartwatch could be tracked just like a cell phone.
Well, smartwatches operate just like a cell phone because depending on the make and model of the watch, they've got cellular data connected to it as well as a connection to a cell phone. It's got Bluetooth, it's got all the different kinds of connecting things that we're looking for when we're going on scene. And so if they're starting to look for these kinds of things, they're looking for a level of technology that hadn't been looked at before. And so we need to understand better what they're looking for in the house, because we've never heard if in the house Nancy has a router that the Wi-Fi on your phone could have connected to. If they've got an Apple phone, your Apple phone's always looking for a Wi-Fi connection and could have left some evidence there about the phone or anybody nearby, because your Wi-Fi on your Apple phones in particular tries to connect as it's going down the road to everything. So there's potentially a lot of evidence that could be found if they're looking for it. And why they're looking for it now and not 25 days ago, I don't know.
Got a question. We know that smartwatch data has been used in multiple cases. For instance, you know the name Laken Riley, the nursing student that was hunted and assaulted and murdered on UGA campus when she was out in broad daylight for a jog. Laken's Garmin device showed her struggle, her heartbeat elevating as she struggled to live and fight. And it even showed her movements during the struggle. And it showed the moment her heart stopped beating. There's also the Richard Debate case. I don't know if you remember that one or not, but he murdered his wife. And he told police that assailants had broken into the home, masked, of course, and had tied him up. And he survived, but his wife, no theft, was murdered. He gave a very elaborate, detailed statement and a timeline. But when her smartwatch data was reviewed, it showed she was up walking around all over the house, well past the time he said she had been shot dead. Well past it.
Y'all, let me tell you something. Oh my gosh. I forgot about Laken Riley and the stuff that came out on that case. Oh my God. I know there's all kind of things you can download into your iPhone. I don't own one of those watch things. But I do have an iPhone, and there's and even on the Androids, I guess you could download all kind of apps like how you're sleeping at night, if you're snoring, if you're farting, if you're having sex, if you're turning over, if your dog's using your nose like mine does as a chew toy when you're trying to sleep. Y'all, can you imagine being in the courtroom, this guy over there, and they're trying this case, and if they have any information like that from any of her devices, oh my God, that is terrible to think about. It's terrible. Oh, mercy me.
His story didn't fit together. And then Suzanne Morphew. Now, according to prosecutors, this is yet to go to trial and be proven. According to prosecutors, smartwatch data shows Suzanne Morphew running through her house, according to them, being chased by her husband, Barry Morphew, with a dart gun with an animal tranquilizer in it. And you can see the running around the home just before she's killed. So what could we get when the cell phone data dump takes place? I know it's hard to distinguish between a smartwatch and a cell phone, assuming the smartwatch is connected to cellular. You know, like some people can send emails, they can even talk on their phone. That's connected to cellular. I know it's hard, you can't really tell the difference, but you get the frequency. You can't tell me. Take a look at the porch guy, everybody. He is totally kitted out. He's got his walkie-talkie that he's talking to an accomplice. He's got on multiple pairs of gloves. He's got on a ski mask. He has a backpack full of gear. It's very hard for me to believe that he and his cohort are not synchronizing on their watches. So what could I get, Shipley, from his and his cohort's smartwatches? What kind of data?
Well, in theory, exactly the same kind of stuff you're talking about. They're going to have his movements. The health app on Apple Watches tracks your steps up and down, altitude, all kinds of things. So they could track him very simply if they had that application, because the smartwatches are tied to a phone generally. So there's going to be text messages. There's going to be all kinds of information there that's going to show exactly what that person did if they can find the watch.
And another question regarding smartwatches. We know Nancy's was left behind, but regarding the perps, what if it was a type of watch that connected to Bluetooth, not to cell? Could it still be traced?
We're talking feet rather than, cellular, which could be any place along the way that we're going to find it within miles. So technically, yes, but they'd have to be very close to it to try to identify and find it.
Oh, I see. So let me understand this. Can they ID the Bluetooth device now, historically, that was there at the time of the kidnapping?
Probably not, because unless there was some device set up to receive Bluetooth connections in the house, there's not going to be an identified source that it came from.
Well, there was. We know that there was. We know there was. Todd, we know there was, because her pacemaker was on Bluetooth and it was connected. So what I'm trying to ask, let me refine my question. Can you go back to a scene and the device was there at the time of the kidnapping? Can you capture that information? It's called historical information. It's not happening right now. For instance, the Bluetooth detector, the signal sniffer, was looking for her pacemaker right now to see if she was in the area. Can detectives go back and find a Bluetooth device in the home, such as a smartwatch, at the time of the kidnapping? And this is from Blue Fly on YouTube. What about it, Todd?
Well, in theory, yes. If the device is allowing other connections from Bluetooth and it logs something, it's going to be dependent on that particular device itself, on what's there. But in theory, yes, there could be some reference that something's there. It's going to be a short code of what the device address is. It's not going to give a name or anything like that. It's just going to have a device information. But in theory, it could be.
Straight out to Dr. Jeff Kalashevsky joining us, forensic psychologist and author of Dark Sides. Dr. Kalashevsky, thank you for being with us. What insights do you glean from knowing the perp came in and woke up an elderly grandma sound asleep and dragged her out of her bed?
Well, I think the one interesting piece is this 41 minutes that the perpetrator was in the residence, because it's going to take a few minutes to arouse the person. I mean, when you wake a person up abruptly, this will trigger like a sleep inertia, which is an intense grogginess, confusion. So it'll take a while to get the victim oriented again to make her compliant. And then there has to be some type of communication with the other perpetrator, and you talked about a walkie-talkie. So this 41 minutes, or was this spent with trying to communicate with the person possibly driving a getaway car? Was this 41 minutes spent the entire time getting this elderly woman out of bed? So that 41 minutes is curious to me. You know, were there scenarios where the perpetrator in the house communicated with the perpetrator on the street, saying, well, no, we can't do it now because there's someone out walking, or there's a light on. So that 41 minutes to me is the most interesting piece from kind of a behavioral analysis perspective.
What do you mean by that? The fact that he was in there 41 minutes means what? It means something.
What is
but
he
what?
doing for the 41 minutes? Does it take that long to get the victim ready to move? Or did they have to wait? Was this a plan for a 15-minute abduction, and then they had to wait 25 minutes because there was maybe a light on in the neighborhood or a car was there? So that's what I'm curious about, that 41 minutes, because this is a well-planned abduction. So was that part of the plan? Or did that go outside of the initial plan?
Plus, you have to take into account, Dr. Kolashevsky, that she was in a sound sleep. She's 84 years old, possibly on meds. How long would it take to get her out of bed? And we've heard repeatedly she was, quote, dragged out of her bed. And we are learning tonight, back to you, Dave Mack, that the backpack found in the area is not connected. How do they know that?
Well, there were several things, Nancy. First of all, the backpack that was found about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home was found in an area where homeless people spend the night. And this backpack, one, it didn't match the proper name brand they were looking for. Inside the backpack, they found the identification of a child, and the backpack had been out in the elements for an extended period of time, longer than the 2 to 3 weeks we were looking at in terms of the time Nancy Guthrie went missing and the time the backpack was recovered.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories and $1 million on Fox 1. I hope to see you there, and thank you, friend. The reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie is over $1 million. It's $202,500. 1 million plus nearly $250,000. $1,202,500. If you know or think you know anything about the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, please dial toll-free 800-225-5324. Repeat, 800-225-5324. Or if you wish to remain anonymous, 520-882-7463. Repeat, 520-882-7463. For many of us, the search for Nancy Guthrie goes on. This is not the time to give up. Thank you to our guests, but especially to you for being with us.
Wow. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Will you do me a favor and just hit the like for me? That's all I ask you to do. I think she recognized them. I think she did too. Crazy Lab. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Sadly, that makes me very sad to think that I would have known my perpetrators. It's sick. I wish they knew where she was. I check every day the status of this case, because I couldn't imagine this happened to me, and it was my mother. I know. It's so sad. It's just like we somehow become her family. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think we all know she's not with us anymore. And with the desert, wait a minute. Unfortunately, I think we all know she's not here anymore. And with the desert and areas, heat and animals, I think this is going to be hard to locate a body. And I believe that as well. As much as I want to be wrong so bad, I don't believe that this is going to turn out well that way. 5 more likes to go, y'all. I only need 5 more likes to get to my goal of 100 every time I go live. So thank you so much. I know we're going to get there. Thank you, Miss June, for just shoving it out there for us, and to Mikey Mike, who just tries to do it too. Boyfriend, yeah, no, they're saying she had a boyfriend. She had her little side piece going on. Says 99 likes on your screen. We only need 1 more. Thank you so much. I want to show you guys this. I thought it was really cool. We were talking about the cadaver dogs and the search dogs, and I told you guys that Vortex was out there, and people have come in many times and didn't even realize that the dogs have been there. So cadaver dogs were brought out the day 2. Okay, they were brought out. I don't know how far wide. I don't know how far the search went. And then also search and rescue dogs, which are trained for 2 completely different things. And they didn't find anything either, obviously. And like I said, I don't know how far the searches went with the dogs. We know that hell, the sheriff of the county didn't even want humans to go and search, right? But anyways, I think I think all dogs are amazing. I don't care what kind of dog you have. Now my favorite breed is the golden retriever. I've got 3, and I love golden retrievers, but I love all animals. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I love animals more than I love humans, because they love you regardless. And no matter what, an animal will love you. And not all humans will, or they'll backstab you. Pisses me off. Anyways, so I thought we would take a look at this really quick. Look this up. This is how cadaver dogs are assisting in this. This is how cadaver dogs are assisting in search process with 161 people still missing in Kerr County. I think this is when they had the bad floods down there, you guys. Oh, look at that golden retriever, you guys, in that water right here. Oh. Anyways, it might be a lab though. All right, let's watch this. This is Ken's 5. It is the San Antonio news source, you guys. We're using this for commentary, teaching, comment, all those things. Yeah, and we have floated it across the screen, and I'm sure somebody's going to drop it in the chat as well, our disclaimer. Here we go. Let's watch this. This is about cadaver dogs, you guys. I think they're awesome. I would love to work with dogs like this. Watch your ears, guys.
In Kerr County.
They are searching a very large area, and the boots on the ground say that there is a need. Jimenez.
Oh my God, is JLR there? Boots on the ground? What up?
And recovery efforts in Kerr County.
They are searching a very large area, and the boots on the ground say that there is a need for more of these dogs. Tonight, KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez is following this story for us. Mike?
Henry Easties, I spoke with Texas EcuSearch and also the Forensic Anthropology Center at Texas State, who gave us some insight into the role cadaver dogs play during search operations.
The cadaver dogs are very invaluable when you're doing searches.
Dr. Michael Ben Alexander, canine training coordinator for the Forensic Anthropology Center at Texas State.
Look at that water.
When the searches for the missing began,
it's terrible.
He was contacted by local officials.
We were able to help find teams to come in.
Teams from Tennessee, Louisiana, and Kansas have been called in to aid in search efforts. Dr. Alexander says these teams were trained at Texas State.
The biggest thing that we provide is the opportunity for handlers to work their dogs on whole bodies, fresh bodies, decomposed bodies, mummified bodies. body's basically in various stages of decomposition.
Brenda Peak, canine handler with Texas EquuSearch,
Aw.
is currently assisting in search and recovery efforts in Kerr
Aw.
County. She says cadaver dogs are key in their searches.
We use drones, we use boats and sonar equipment. But with cadavers, they can maneuver in and under and through and get on top of things that some equipment can't get to.
When dogs pick up on a scent, experts say they will have a reaction or a change of behavior.
There's a bark alert. That's where the dog is in human remains and will alert you by barking at the human remains. There's a sit alert. My particular dog is a bark alert. There's sitting, there's lying down, and there's a stare.
Peak says with the amount of missing people that have been announced, she anticipates search operations taking weeks and even months.
It's most important why we do this, which is to find closure to families and find their lost loved ones.
Now, Texas state officials wanted us to clarify that they do not deploy cadaver dogs to search. They simply train them. And they say if you do have a cadaver dog who is trained and you want to help,
bring Newt.
Are urged to contact your local sheriff's office. Reporting live in Kerrville, Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
Did I even show that on the screen? You guys can remember now. I hope I did. I got a puppy. She's 4 months old. Jamie, we got about the same age dog. I would love to bring Newt. I think he would be fabulous at that. Now, little girl, she's going to be like, oh, no, negative. I'm not going anywhere. Just give me a treat. But Newt definitely is a retriever through and through. And I think Laramie's going to be the same way because I was watching him out the other day as the snow was melting, and it was the first time he ventured off to the barn out there, and he ran. I watched him sniff around the barn he did 3 times around the barn, and then he came back around the front of it and went over to our fence and then walked the fence, and I knew he was tracking either a rabbit or a squirrel, and that gave me great hope because that's sort of, I just think it's interesting when they can do that. Now, little girl, she is a digger, so she will take balls or a bone or something that she just doesn't have time for anymore, but she doesn't want Newt to get it, and she'll go put it in a hole somewhere, and then she remembers where it is. It's amazing to me. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. We have been live now for almost 3 hours. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Yep, Newt is my oldest, Golden. He's 6, and then we have her call sign is Little Girl. Her real name is Anichka. Her parents are both from the Ukraine, so I wanted to give her a Ukrainian name, and that's where that name came from. But I call her Little Girl, and she's 3. And then we've got a 4-month-old puppy, and his name is Laramie. And if you guys ever want to check out my dogs, there's plenty on my homepage in the shorts of my dogs. You may run across another one where the dog doesn't look like the ones that I have here. She was my very first golden retriever. Her name was Cheyenne, and she passed away like a month after I started this channel. In fact, I was live 10 minutes. Like, it was kind of like she waited for me to get off the live before she lay down, and she passed away right here in the living room. But yeah, so if you want to check out some shorts on my dogs, they're out there. They're funny individuals, and they run my world, and I'm very okay with that. I'm very okay with that. Listen, yes, Laramie and Cheyenne, you caught on it, Kelly. Good, yes. So Cheyenne came from, I was listening to a song, Garth Brooks. It came on whenever I was going to pick Cheyenne up, and I knew that had to be her name. I just loved it. And then when I got Newt, or no, after I had Newt is named after, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the epic Lonesome Dove. It is my very favorite Western that was ever made. And the son's name on there was Newt, and so he's named after that. And then 2 years ago, we went out west, like, oh, it was an amazing trip. I think we did 8 states in 7 days or something like that. and it was amazing. And when I got to Laramie, God, I can't even think now. And I got to Laramie, no, it wasn't Montana. Where is it, you guys? Help me. I'm tired. Wyoming. Isn't it Wyoming? Laramie and Cheyenne. Wyoming, yeah. I always said I would have a dog named Laramie because they kind of go together. Laramie and Cheyenne, it's cities in Wyoming, and I love it out there. And I looked everywhere for Rip from Yellowstone because I was gonna leave with him for 15 minutes. And I was sending pictures back constantly to my co-host who lives in England. She's not on right now, you guys, because she had an accident a couple days ago, and so she's kind of laid up. But if you stick around, you'll get to meet our sweet Maggie. You will fall in love with her. I'm telling you, she's the best of the best. And so I was sending her pictures constantly because she's never seen a real cowboy. And so I'm taking all these odd pictures of all these people. Y'all, they aren't cowboys like you think of like Texan cowboys, like, you know, that they're not those kind of cowboys. They're like cowboys, you know, like, whoa, y'all, homegrown. Listen, the ones in Texas are riding the horses, and the ones up in Wyoming are riding the bulls, y'all. I want the bull riding cowboy, y'all. Oh my word, I'm not even gonna lie. Straight up, I want the bull riding cowboy. I went looking for Rip. Didn't find that fucker. I'm gonna tell you one day I'm gonna find him. I'm coming again. Love me a good cowboy. Oh God, them bull riding. Oh Jesus, I gotta go. But anyways, listen here. It was good seeing you guys. I am gonna play one other thing as I leave. Just because I found this right before I went on, I don't know who this man is. I think he was a judge. I'm going to play it a little bit faster speed. If you can't stick around for him, that's okay. I understand. I thank you guys for being here and just chatting. That makes me so, so happy. But anyways, I found this guy when I was pulling up everything and trying to plan tonight's live, and I listened to him. And I was like, oh my God, he's brilliant. The man is freaking brilliant. He's total polar opposite of me. And I think people that are opposite of me are brilliant people. They're just calm natured, like the water doesn't ripple. And then there's me who's rocking that boat. Let's go, let's go. So he's just calm. He's got on this wall behind him, he's got a judge's robe, and I think there's some kind of police plaque. So he may have been in law enforcement too. But what he had to say about this case, the Nancy Guthrie case, y'all, which is what we're here for, amazed me. He reminded me very much of our very own JB, our FBI here. She's so calm. She's unmoved. Those waters don't ripple at all. Like, she's not up. She's not down. She's just solid, like solid. So I'm going to play that as we're leaving. After that's over, I'll play my outro. Once again, thank you guys so much for being with me. I hope you stick around for this man and sub up if you want to. I subbed up to him just because I want to go back to his channel and check out what he's got going on. But I like the way he put this. He put this from a really calm, strong mind, which calm mind is not who I am. Let's just be honest about it. I'm not calm about anything. I can't be calm. I try. It doesn't work. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys next time. Y'all be good or be good at it. All right. So we'll play this. And if you want to stay for it, good on you. If not, then I'll see you guys next time. And then I'll play the outro afterwards. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
This evening by quickly talking about something that happened earlier today. I posted a video asking a question that a lot of you have been asking me in the comments, and I addressed the issue of, did the FBI wait too late in this investigation? And almost immediately after that, the internet lit up.
Thank you, Melly.
Headlines started flying, and people people saying that federal agents were converging on the Nancy Guthrie residence like some big thing was about to happen. And I started seeing a lot of messages from you asking, what does this really mean? So I just wanted to slow things down this evening for just a moment, because when the media coverage ramps up suddenly like this, it's easy for.
Y'all, I'm so sorry. That was rude of me. I should have said that, and I don't know why I got sidetracked. But I guess this guy is a judge. It says Judge Brewer, and then he looks like he was a sergeant in it's a sheriff's department right there. And then there's a judge's robe here, so maybe that's who it was. His channel's name, y'all, is Brew Crew, BREW Crew Beyond 50. So in other words, homeboys, y'all slamming him down at nighttime with his over 50 buds, and he's retired. And so he's talking about what happened he's got 13.2K subscribers, so good on him. Let me hit the like for him. And I subbed up to him. I just like the way he talks. He sounds like a smart man, and I respect the uniform, and he comes at it. I was like, wow, that's good shit. Like, I wouldn't have thought about it that way, but comes at it in a different way than what I would. So here you guys go.
Emotions and speculation to take over. And what I want to do tonight is just give you a calmer, more realistic understanding of what is more than likely happening here, especially when you consider one important factor. You know, the $1 million reward that was announced yesterday. You know, when reward money increases, investigators, they almost always see a surge in calls, sometimes hundreds and maybe even thousands of new tips. They come in all at once. And when that happens, law enforcement, they have to follow up. And that doesn't always mean a breakthrough. What it means is just work, more work. So let's walk through what we actually saw today and what it probably means. Now, something did change today. You know, after days of silence, investigators suddenly returned to Nancy Guthrie's home. There were multiple vehicles there. Agents were moving between buildings and focused their attention on that front doorway, you know, where we saw the suspect in the Nest doorbell camera. And then just as quickly as they arrived, it seemed like they were gone. And now here's what most of the headlines won't tell you. Law enforcement, you know, they don't come back to a scene like that unless something has shifted behind the scenes. And I can tell you, after 21 years in law enforcement, this kind of movement usually just means that investigators they're no longer guessing. They're testing specific things. And tonight I want to explain what may really be happening and why this moment matters more than people realize. So, you know, today brought the most activity at the Guthrie home in over a week. Investigators, they were moving between the main house and the guest house and focused around that front entry area. They were taking more photos and just careful movement. Then they're gone. And here's what stands out to me. There were no dramatic announcements, no press conference, no confirmation of a major breakthrough, which tells me something important. This was about optics. This was about work, following up. So let's talk about something that most people they don't understand. When investigators return to a scene, it doesn't usually mean that they missed something the first time. What it means is they now know where to look, probably based on a lot of those tips that came in. You know, early in the investigation, you collect everything. Later, after the interviews and the lab results and new tips that are coming in, you go back with a purpose. You know, that's targeted work. It's focused. And that's usually a sign the investigation is narrowing, not expanding. So, you know, possible reasons investigators return today is this. Number one is maybe a new tip matched existing evidence. You know, that reward announcement, it often will generate a large volume of calls. Most go nowhere. but occasionally one lines up perfectly with information investigators already have. And when that happens, they go back out and test it. The second thing is lab results that raise new questions. So forensic, they don't always give answers. Sometimes they just give a direction. And those directions, they bring investigators right back to where the evidence started. The third thing is timeline reconstruction. You know, investigators, they may physically walk through events again and looking at different angles and timing and, you know, movement paths, visibility points. And because, you know, small details, they can reshape an entire picture. The fourth thing is digital and technical reassessment. You know, if new footage analysis or technical recovery happens, agents may revisit locations to compare positioning or perspective. The fifth thing is strategic pressure. Sometimes visibility and activity sends a message. If someone involved is watching the news, and many of them do, investigative presence, it can create pressure, and pressure causes mistakes. This is things that we've talked about in previous videos. You know, I'll tell you something that may surprise a lot of people. When investigators suddenly come back to a scene after days of silence, it's often not because they found something new. It's because they finally understand something old. And that shift from searching to understanding, it's where cases begin to change. Now, I want to slow down again for just a minute, because movement, it doesn't always mean resolution. But we all want answers. We all want progress. We want this thing to end the way everyone is hoping and praying. But investigations, they move in stages. And sometimes activity means they're still testing ideas. They're not closing the case. So it's important to stay grounded. Now, I want to say something honest here. Just because we're seeing movement doesn't automatically mean that the outcome will be what all of us want. I know that everyone watching is hoping for the best case scenario. We all are. We want Nancy to be found safe. We want the kind of ending that families pray for. But investigations, they don't work toward a specific ending. They work towards the truth. And right now, the mission is simple. Bring Nancy home, however that may look. That doesn't mean that hope disappears. It just means that investigators follow facts, not wishes. And that's how real investigations work. So what today tells me is this: the investigation is active, it's focused, and it's still moving. That the quiet periods, it can make it feel like nothing is happening. But many times the biggest steps happen away from the cameras. And then suddenly we see movement like we did today. Now, here's something that I want all of us to remember. This case, it isn't about headlines. It isn't about theories. It's still about a person and a family that's waiting, and people working every day to bring answers. So no matter what direction this investigation takes, we stay focused on the mission. We keep Nancy's name in front of people, and we just keep paying attention. We keep hoping, and while staying honest about reality. Now, I want to hear from you. Listen, when you saw the investigators return today, what was your first thoughts? Drop it in the comments below. And until Nancy is home, we're going to keep talking about her. So this is what I say to whoever is out there that may be listening. Bring Nancy home. I'll see you all in that next video.
And amen. Good night, guys.
dog.